So, welcome to. That is actually incorrect. Welcome to session 36. And so, previously, you had been contacted by Jared after saving him when he was investigating the Grey Cult. You have plans on working with him to tail Tyrande and figure out where she goes at night and what her connection is to the Grey Cult. Raging Ire won the expert rank martial tournament, and the entire group was invited to the Valenstar Celebration of Gadrak. Hold on. You discovered that the sword and shield symbol is a sigil for the Blackstone Blade, a well-known weapon shop. You also discovered the meaning of the guild symbol found on the medallion during the festival. You investigated Kensing Carpentry, stealing a wagon and searching its contents for drugs. You found evidence linking the operation back to XG and HV. You also learned the likely identity of at least one of these patrons. You were able to find the Blue Sand production and clues linking the operation possibly to Hamila Valenstar. During the process of investigating Kensing Carpentry, Galen, Devok, and Ire were arrested, but later released. You were able to infiltrate and listen in on the meeting at the Blackstone Blade, where you learned of the Walpurgin at the Metal Forgers Guild. As we begin, you prepare for the celebration, the Valenstar Celebration event. It is Celium 5th in the afternoon. So what are you going to do? Or I should probably phrase it differently. Is there anything you do before the celebration?
Well, I think we got all our insanity out of the way already.
Okay.
Oh, did you want to go? Did you want to try and pick up some clothes there, Pico? You said something about that.
Yeah, that might not be a bad idea. Is Tapkin's shop open?
It is.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and stop by there real quick and see if he's got anything off the rack that'll fit.
All right. How tall is your character?
6'6", I think.
Okay, so he's on the tall side, but not extraordinary. So he is able to find something that either a gray or black suit with a cloak that is ever so slightly too short, but you can make it work. He is willing to offer either one for 30 silvers.
Well, if it's a little too short, I think I'll go with the black one since that'll blend in a little better. And I don't need the cloak. Is it any cheaper without it?
It is not. It comes with the suit.
All right, I guess I'll go ahead and get it anyway then. Alrighty, 30 silver. So I'll just knock that down to 17. All right.
Okay, so you arrive back at your inn with your clothes all ready to go. And then, as you're preparing in your room, the innkeeper suddenly knocks on the door, and he says, I'm told to tell you that your carriage has arrived out front.
Carriage.
They're late.
So what do you do?
All right, get ready with our carriage.
Yep, and the first thing I'm doing is I'm swapping out the cloak that came with the suit for the one that I already have.
Okay. All right, so you head outside in your new clothing, and you do see that there is a carriage waiting out in front of the inn. And you see a well-dressed human individual. He's about 5'9". He's got graying hair and a fine black suit. Looks a lot like a butler. And as you arrive, he bows and he says, "Hello, sirs. Might I inquire as to your identity?"
I'm Peak of the Keystone.
Yes, you are on the list. Well, I have this for you. And then he hands you a paper, which I'm going to show to everyone. You should now see it on your screen. The text might be too small to read, but you can click on the hourglass and it'll show up. And he says, Well, sir, if your group would be so kind as to climb in the carriage, please.
All right.
All right, hop on in.
As you do so, you can see that there is a second butler who's kind of sitting across. Because it's basically you have an area up front where somebody drives the horse. Then you have a larger area, covered area with two benches, and it's fairly wide, so most of you can fit on one side. And then there's a second butler sitting inside, and he says, "Well, sirs," as the carriage slowly starts moving. And ma'am, I am not sure how current you are on noble standards and such. How many of these events have you been to in the past?
None.
I can't remember when the last time would be.
I see. So you may be aware that there will be numerous lords and ladies of great import throughout the city and beyond. And so, of course, no weapons will be allowed inside the establishment. I'm sure this comes as no surprise. In addition, there is a ban on magical creatures, and that would include what are they called? Familiars. I don't know if any of you would have any of such creatures, but
Can't bring Tempest?
no, whatever that is.
Hmm.
And
Amazing.
the other thing to be aware of is this is occurring inside of the Valenstar estate, and as such, various areas have been are open for use by all guests, and other areas will be locked and marked as no entrance. And so we would, of course, ask you to avoid those areas. I'm sure this is obvious, but I was told to state this regardless. Do you have any specific questions?
No.
I'm thinking that covers it.
Alrighty then.
Actually, I do have a question. Is there a weapon check-in at the estate?
There is, well, sort of. If you have weapons, I will check them in for you. Because once we get there, there'll be an area where all the carriages park, and of course everybody will enter in a very specific order. And by the time you get out of the carriage, you should be ready to go. But you will be entering the same carriage to leave, so your weapons will be here with me.
Anybody think there's any need to bring them along, or just leave them here?
No, we can just leave him.
The only weapon I had brought was my iridescent dagger, and that was all done up all formally on my side and stuff. So I just hand that to Char and snap my fingers, and Char goes away too. No tasty treats from my little owl friend.
Okay. Tyler, I heard what you said, but just barely. I'm having trouble hearing you. But
All
all
right, let me
right.
adjust here.
Any
better?
Yeah, it's better. And if any of you do decide you want to bring weapons, you will be making an appropriate check. Let me look and see what that check is. Probably a sleight of maybe a sleight of hand. So probably something like a sleight of hand check to see if you can hide the weapon on your person. So if anybody is going to do that, just let me know now, and then you can just make your roll for it, and then we'll deal with it as appropriate. So is anybody going to do that?
No, I think I did what I was gonna do.
Yeah, no, I'm not sneaking anything in.
Okay.
Same.
Yeah, I think I'll just leave my adventuring pack and backpack behind, and any claws I can remove.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so then the servant continues, and he says, "So as you arrive at the celebration, there are several essentially locations that you will have access to, which I will list now because various events will be happening at some of these locations. You have, of course, the entrance yard. This is where the carriages will be parked, and there people might come out during the celebration to hang out to speak outside. There's the entrance hall, which has several couches that you can rest. There will be several events there, such as Valenstar's speech. There off that area, there are a couple of private alcoves that are magically silenced, so that if you wish to have a private conversation and not have someone overhearing you, you can make use of those alcoves. There are the west and east courtyards. Not much going on there this evening, but they are open because they are rather nice areas with large fountains. The lunar ballroom, which is where the main music and dancing will occur. There is a parlor, and that is where the famous harpist will play her music. There's the Grand Flower Yard, which is a stream, a small lake. That is where the fireworks will be occurring. A round room, which is more of a curiosity on the way to the dining hall. I am given to understand that you will be receiving an audience with Lord Valenstar. So when that event arrives, you'll be led to his office. Any questions about that? All right. So you have the rest of the ride in silence, and eventually you arrive at the estate. When you arrive there, it's a rather large set of buildings. The central building is 3 stories tall, and you can see that it is a much larger building than most houses that you've been in. You can see that there's this front where the street comes in and it turns like a roundabout, and you can see a multitude of wagons already parked out front, and you can see various servants tending to the horses out there. And then eventually you park and you're led to the stairs, and you hear announcements in the distance. It sounds like several lords are being announced. It sounds like you can hear the announcements for Lord Zorik of House Fairmar and Lady Opala of House Gaukla. And after those announcements, the butler kind of shoos you forward and says, "This is your place. Go ahead and walk up the stairs, and they will announce you." And I'm going to go ahead and lead you to the map.
Well, I'm guessing Raging Ire should head in first.
Okay.
Okay, you should see the map now. And as you head up the stairs, you can see several lords and ladies in front of you and behind you. You can see Lord Valenstar is standing in front of a fountain. And it is clear that who he is, because you can see the look of authority, and you can see the servants as they come by meekly and whisper to him. You can see that Lord Zorik is already in place. And you can see with Lord Zorik a retinue of servants and retainers and allies that he is currently speaking to. And then you have Lady Opala of House Gaukla, who is a distinguished older lady who is standing in for her house instead of the Lord. And then as you approach, hold on. As you approach, you hear the Lumev Expedition Team and Marshall Tournament winners, the Raging Ire and Party, and they kind of you have the servants kind of shooing you forward. What do you guys do?
Very regally, shoulders out, chest out, very, very formally. I walk in and do a curt bow. Just a little short one.
Okay. As
I'll
okay.
walk up and do the same.
All right. And as you do so, you see a small bow, a nod of the head from Lord Valenstar and Lord Fairmar and Lady Gaukla. And then the servants kind of point you off to the side. And you can see various couches off to the side. You can see a grand fountain in the center. And you can tell the floor has this sheen and polish to it, where you can see everybody's reflections very clearly. And as you enter, the announcements continue, and then you hear Lord Ebertman of House Clayman, and you see this short lord approaching. You can see his dress is gaudy, perhaps overdone with frills and jewels, and you can see that he is surrounded by young servants who seem to follow him very closely, as if perhaps they're afraid of misstepping. And then you hear Lady Sadri of House Trenchil, and you see a younger middle-aged woman wearing a large hat that has ends sticking out every direction, and you can see that she is carefully manicured, has a nice, beautiful blue dress, and seems to take good care of herself. And then you hear Lady Lyra of House Moradel. And what's interesting about this one is you see the lady walking up, who is actually a half-elf, you'd guess. But you also notice that among her retainers and servants is Captain Razgar. And then you hear several more, and I'll just go ahead and bring them all out for you now. Hold on. Not you, and you. All right. So several more nobles walk up, and you see Lord Shamoun of House Ratau, Lady Valinia of House Morcolt, Lord Grinsteed of House Largai, Lord Addis of House Neilwit, and the guest of honor, High Priest Paradin Grealish, who you recognize from the Temple of Godrak. And Ire, you remember that Kragar talked about Paradin and how he helped him out when he was having troubles. And you remember seeing him at the temple as well. He is the new head priest, just ordained, just recently or about to be ordained. You were never clear on which. And so as everybody comes in, you see that there's various other people there as well. You can see servants and other people who arrived early, and everybody kind of spreads out into their own different areas. So, what do you do?
Well, I suppose it's only right if I should introduce myself to the host. I walk over here and kind of get Ire up by my shoulder as we approach.
And as Ragu and I are, you're standing in front of Lord Valenstar. He says, "Welcome, gentlemen. In about half an hour, I will. There will be a small speech that I will be given for the occasion today. And as you know, later on there'll be various other events happening, and I hope you have a good time. And remember, you and your entire group at the end of the evening, I want to meet with you personally to discuss your exploits and kind of have a better understanding of what is going on in Lumev. But for now, I
Of course.
have duties to attend to, so please enjoy yourselves." And he starts walking off.
It was not quite the introduction I was expecting, but I guess he is a very busy man, eh, Ire?
Ooh, I want to talk to Captain Razgar.
Okay, you approach. Let me go ahead and just get some people moved in real quick, and then we'll do that.
Uh-huh.
Paradin, he's going to go and sit on the couch up here. All right, so you approach Captain Razgar, and he looks up, and he says, "Oh, I remember you. How are you doing, Pico, right?"
Yes, I'm doing quite well these days. Certainly no mere novice anymore. How are you doing?
"Oh, I'm doing well nowadays. Um, lady, you mind if I speak with my friend here for a few minutes?" And she nods. "Of course, of course. I'm just resting before I have to deal with the others." And then Captain Razgar kind of looks towards you, Pico, and says, "Why don't we go to the east courtyard? Follow me." And he starts. I've been here a couple of times before, so I I know I know my way around a bit. Although this place is
Being
rather large.
being chivalrous, I'll go up and talk to Lady Mordell as Pico takes the captain away.
Okay. You go up and says,
Just small talk, nothing overly important. Just hi,
she
how
she
you
nods your direction, and then you can see that she seems to be in some sort of contemplation. Your insight suggests that she might be worried about something, perhaps. So you have some polite chat with her as Pico follows Captain Razgar. Oreo, Ire, and Davak, what are you three doing?
Um, Good question.
Hmm.
Nothing really on my end, just staying with the group as much as possible.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And you can see that Lady Gaukla seems to be resting on a next to a pillar. Um, and as you go by, she flags. She waves at you, Ire. She says, "Do you have a moment?"
Who? Sorry, who was it?
Uh, Lady Gaukla, right here.
Oh, yeah.
You guys can
Yes.
see the names, right?
Only
Yeah.
for this character, at least for this one.
Yeah, you can see the names of essentially the important people
Yeah.
that were announced and everything because you saw them being announced.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Aya, what do you do?
Yes, I do. What
Um,
is it?
oh, what is your name? I know Raging Ire, and I know you're part of the Lumev expedition, correct? But I don't know your actual name.
My name is Ire.
You're very interesting. Um, you you're obviously not of this world, correct?
That is correct.
And
Yes.
so you have a very interesting group, because isn't that a Sudaga over there? She points at
Mm-hmm.
Devok.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, you. Well, I've been on the lookout for financial opportunities, you can say. Well, don't spread it around, but um, I I'm not sure if is there anything that the your expeditions, is there anything interesting, any opportunities there?
Um, could you be more specific?
Resources to exploit, perhaps, or you know, interesting technologies or services that you're discovering, or that you already know, that kind of thing.
You know, I think we should set up a time to talk about this maybe another day.
Oh, okay. Well, fair enough.
If you'd like, or not, either one.
Well, I'll have my people contact yours then.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right,
My
going
my
back.
my people.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, sorry, nothing.
Okay. So going back to Pico. So Razgar kind of pulls you away a bit, and then he says, "So you probably wonder why I am here instead of, well, with the guard, as I'm assuming."
Very much so. I was kind of disappointed to hear that you had left the services of the city guard when I heard about it. We actually went looking for you the other day, following up on a minor investigation.
I see. It is quite simple, really. You remember when you were tasked to root out the Kylon issue?
Yes, I do.
And you remember how we, or specifically I, was sidelined in that investigation.
Yep, I remember that as well.
Well, I was dubious at first, but it became clear to me that the investigation was in good hands. So you did well, but we're lucky. We're lucky you did well. You were novices. You could It could have gone much worse. You needed experienced people with you, and yes, the city lord, the council got lucky that that they had such talented individuals. But most people with your skill and knowledge at the time would have failed. And they sidelined me to rely on you because they do not trust me to keep the guards under control or to come to me with their suspicions. And so I left. I found a position with House Mordell, and they seem to be interested in my skills and my honor, and it is simple as that. I hope I did not offend with that. It did not mean that you are not skilled. It, but they are lucky that you are as skilled as you are, is what I was trying to say.
No offense taken, and truth be told, I agree with your opinion. It is very risky, enough so that I have to wonder, do you think there's any possibility that anybody might have been counting on failure?
It is possible. There is corruption throughout. There's corruption at the highest levels and at the lowest levels. and even in the guard. But regardless of the reason, the fact is that it happened, and it is not something that I can move past.
Well, I definitely understand that. And certainly hope you're happy with your new position.
Oh yes, the Lady Mordell seems to be quite a good person overall. She obviously she is seeking to raise the rank and importance of her house because many people consider it to be the lowest of the main houses of the city. But I believe that she will find the right way to do that ultimately, even if she lets her anger get the best of her sometimes. At least that is my hope.
Well, I'm glad you found something new to appreciate. It is a shame that you left the city guard. They definitely could use more people such as yourself. And given some of the other recent events, uh, yeah, it definitely feels like somebody's needed to whip the guard into shape. You didn't happen to hear about this? I guess there's some sort of crime syndicate that got busted here the other day. Oh, actually, I guess last night.
I did hear about something occurring in one of the marketplaces. It apparently there was um, there was this group of people taken out by, or at least so the rumors say, somebody called the Master, whatever that is.
Yeah, I was hearing something about that. Um, I know some merchants in the area, and prior to that, was hearing about sounds like some sort of extortion type schemes and things like that. And a shopkeeper actually tragically died, and foul play was suspected, but it was very difficult to, well, actually, dare I say, impossible to get it properly investigated. So I feel like maybe not everybody's as committed to the law and the safety of the city as you are.
Well, that is unfortunate. Meanwhile, Ragu, you notice this well-dressed individual. He's wearing a dark gray suit. He's got a finely manicured black beard and with black hair. And as he approaches you, um, Lady Mordell looks up and she kind of waves his direction as she goes, seems to go into deep thought. And Ragu, you see the figure kind of standing, waiting for your conversation with Lady Mordell to end.
Seeing that Lady Moradel simply needs to rest and would like a moment
Say that again.
seeing is that Lady Moradel would like a rest and might need a moment alone, I very politely excuse myself and go over here to, not sure how to say his name.
Yeah, you recognize him as Lord Largai.
Largai. Okay. Greetings, Lord Largai.
Yep. And then she will go off to do her own thing. Anyway, as you come over, he looks at you. Says, "Your name is Ragu, is it not?"
I am Rasiri Bluebad, otherwise known as Ragu.
Yes. Do you happen to your friend Pico? Is he here today?
Yes, I believe he is talking to the captain at the moment, but I'm sure he will be by shortly. Yes, he is definitely here, though.
Well, I have something I wish to discuss with you and Pico. If you can just go ahead and fetch him and take him up to the one of the private alcoves, and
Of course.
just north of the stairs, and I'll be waiting for you there. And then he starts heading to the north.
Okay. I'm gonna come over here and kind of whisper quietly to these three. All right. I'm guessing Pico and I have some business with this man. I'll find out what's going on and tell you guys later. Meanwhile, come on, you threes. There's lots of people. Mingle, drink some wine, have fun.
Okay. All right. While Ragu is heading off, Oreo, Devak, and Ire, what are you doing, if anything?
Not sure.
Are there drinks available? Are people walking around?
As soon as you say, "Are there drinks available?" Suddenly there is a person who looks a lot like another butler standing next to you with a tray with various wines and ales on the tray, saying, "Would you like a drink, sir?"
Yes, I would love a drink.
And what would you like? A red wine, a white wine, a sweet juice, an ale, a whiskey? And then he scratches his head. Wait, how would you drink this?
Well, it's for the I just want to hold it. It's for the aesthetic, just the look,
I'll take sips.
I see.
I
So
see.
he hands you a white wine. And Devak, what'd you
Oh,
say?
thank you.
I said I will sip on his drink.
Okay.
I'll put it up to my face and pretend drink,
And actually, she is not there, so I'll hide her. All right. So you're getting a drink. Oreo, what are you doing, if anything?
Nothing in particular, just observing the area.
Okay, so yeah, you see a couple of people that are kind of just hanging around, chatting. You can see that other than Lady Moradel, most of the lords and ladies have gone elsewhere.
Okay.
All right, Pico, what are you doing?
Well, I guess I'm still continuing to talk to Captain Razgar. I guess one thing, kind of quietly is, if you ever find that there's any trouble you need to have looked into, or you have any questions, feel free to get in contact with us.
He nods and he says, "Well, you have proven yourselves to be trustworthy, unlike most others. But I should probably get back to the lady." So she starts heading. Hello again. You're Ragu, correct?
Correct, Captain. It is a pleasure to see you again.
You as well. I will speak to you later, perhaps during one of the events. And he starts heading to the south. All right, Ragu, you just found Pico. So what do you do?
Yeah, how's the party so far? Did the captain have anything good to say?
Well, depends on your point of view. He's definitely happy with his new assignment, working with House Moradel. But yeah, he definitely was not happy with how that whole investigation that we were put on was initially handled. Although he was grateful
Yes.
that we were able to handle it, and as he put it, the city leaders were lucky that they happen to have just the right people for the job.
Yeah, I remember we did want his honor being sent in on some mission.
Mm-hmm.
We have an interesting engagement already, so it's early in the evening. there is a man who wishes to be speaking with us.
That's interesting.
Back here in the private section.
Hmm.
Yep. As you approach, you see Lord the guy sitting in one of the chairs, and as he sees you, he says, "Come in. Have your friend come in. He won't be able to hear us from there." And Pico, you notice that while you were standing outside the curtains, you saw Lord the guy talking, but you couldn't hear anything.
Hmm.
And then as you enter, he says, "Have a seat." Well, actually, I wanted to ask you a question. My understanding is that you have been discreetly meeting with someone I know, and I wanted to ask you about them. So, how is my brother these days? You probably know him as Jared.
Ah. Um, he's doing reasonably well these days. Apparently quite busy. It's been a little while since we've spoken with him last.
I see. Well, unfortunately, I don't know if he lets you know that his name is really Jared. But one of the things that he has been hiding as of late is his connection with House Largai. Has he asked you to help him with anything? Any sort of, yeah, anything?
Well, I know that he was, I guess he was trying to investigate some sort of group, but not really quite sure what's going on with that.
Ragu, you can make. They look like they might be brothers, but you can make an insight check if you want to know how sure you are of that.
Okay. Insight or like investigation, looking at his facial features and stuff? Or is it insight?
I think I would accept either one.
Can I do that as well?
Yeah. You're pretty sure they do look like brothers. I mean, you're not absolutely sure, but they do. It does look right. Well,
Okay, then my second question.
oh, go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry. My second question that I was going to do quietly whilst T and Pico were talking is, does this guy really even sound trustworthy? The first thing he does is start asking us about what his brother's doing. It might be a sibling rivalry or something. Do I know how much I trust this guy? What kind of feeling do I get? And that would probably be insight.
Yeah, you would make an insight check for that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, he's fine. He's legit.
Oh, yeah, sure. Absolutely. Okay, thank you.
Now, what's my take on that?
Your take is that he's fairly calm, but you sense that there is some sort of tension there when he talks about his brother. All right. Anyway, so how do you guys respond?
Well, I do remember Jared. I mean, we were traveling along the way, and we had found him hurt, and we wound up helping him. But I think we've only ever seen him before that or after that in the oh, what was the name of that bar? Oh well, it's not important. Anyway, we did stop and meet him for a drink, but it's not like we really discussed business. It was mostly pleasure and the comings and goings of peoples and gossip.
Okay, he's listening. You obviously you're trying to make sure that he believes that. So go ahead and give me a deception check.
Alrighty.
If Pico wants to say anything, he could help, but he would have to say something that actually helps.
Anything?
Well, you did say that I knew that he was investigating some sort of group, which is true.
Okay.
but is being kind of deliberately vague.
All right. I guess I'll give you advantage then.
Thank you.
Okay.
Six-
So he nods, and he seems to believe you. And he says, "Well, as you may be aware, we've been having some issues trying to elevate House Largai back to its original status. And as Lord of the House, it's the entire house is my responsibility, Jared included. Well, and as you might be aware, although perhaps not, Jared attempted to split away from the house. There are several members of the house that are loyal to him, and I believe that he formed his own group. Um, you maybe did he mention anything about the restorers to you?
Who?
The
No, I've
restorers.
not. No, I've not heard of the restorers, but I was wondering if he merely wanted to split away from the family to go pursue his own goals. Would this be much of a problem? And if he had wanted to hide his fact that he was part of the Largai family, then he definitely did not mention to us that he was part of the Largai family. So that is uh, that is apparently effective.
I see. Well, it's unfortunate that the reason that this is a problem, and you may have heard rumors of this, is that the restorers, well, they're really known as the restorers of the seal. And, well, they, uh, they are an anti-Lumev group. And part of the reason that we've been having troubles is it's been causing a lot of political friction, and people have begun to believe that our house are against the policies of the city lord and the council, but we're not. It is my brother and his small group. And yes, I know that they've been they've been doing good. I've heard of this that he was dealing with some sort of cult, and even found some allies to help him out. Perhaps you're those allies, but perhaps not, since you apparently he didn't speak much of the stuff with you. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Well,
Restorers
what?
of the seal. What seal would they be wanting to restore?
this seal on the portals, of course.
Ah,
Um,
And so, as you can see, it's problematic. And so I kind of wanted to see if he, since I know you'd spoken to him, perhaps you were involved and could tell me what he's up to nowadays. Well,
I do know that we did help him out, and he said he wanted to repay us, but mm, we've asked no favor from him. But
well,
yeah, we've
also professionally, we're the Lumev expedition. It would be a
yes
pretty big conflict of
conflict of
interest.
interest.
So, yeah, I'd be surprised if he even tried to approach us on something like that.
oh, that's true. Although there's the old saying, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. So there's who knows. But as you say, I believe you in that he has not tried to involve you in this stuff. So no matter. But he's doing well. Yes.
So it
The last time
seemed.
we saw him, he was healthy.
Although I have a question, if this group's trying to restore the seal, why would they do that? Why would they be operating here? Um, I mean, granted, my knowledge on this probably isn't any more complete than it is with anybody else, but wasn't there an adventuring group about 10 years ago that's responsible for opening this seal in the first place? It sounds like whatever would need to be done to restore the seal would be several kingdoms over to the south.
Perhaps, but my understanding is his current objective seems to be to basically halt the Lumev expeditions and attempt to seal the portals from here. Whether that makes sense, I have no idea. I am no mage. I have no, nor am I an artificer. It is what it is.
I'm going to insight check this guy again. Of all the times for that to happen.
I was gonna say, yeah, I have some questions too. Here is he did. I do remember hearing about him helping stop a cult poisoning wells. How could that possibly be connected with Zalumev? It seemed like he was
Sorry, I
trying
say
to
that.
do
Say that
good
louder.
things. Sorry. The last I had heard of him, he was actually involved with some peoples that were stopping a group of cultists that were poisoning wells. That is seeming like a good thing. I am not sure how that can be associated with closing the portals.
He shrugs and he says, "Well, you can be against the Lumev expeditions, but still want to keep cults from poisoning wells. I don't see how those are in conflict. My understanding
No,
is
not conflict. Just it would be a waste of time to be doing one if your objective is the other. Still,
perhaps, but I mean, at the end of the day, he is a good person. But he's doing what he believes to as is right.
okay.
And so perhaps he learned about this cult or whatever it is and decided to do something about it because no one else was. I don't know. But you, you can have multiple goals.
True, true.
If you're talking, Tyler, I can't hear you.
No, I was just agreeing with him. I said true, true. Just making conversation, agreeing with him.
Okay, so he nods. It's like, well, like I said, it sounds like you haven't been too involved with his restorers at this point. And if you did help him deal with some cult or something, then all the better. Like I said, he believes in what he believes, and he is ultimately a good person. But he is unfortunately causing political friction with the rest of the house, and as the lord of the house, I have to deal with it some way or another. So I was hoping you had
That I
information,
understand.
but it is fine.
Well, like I did say, we did see him once at the bar, and I'm sure you have ways to contact him before I do. But if we were to see him first,
Oh, I've contacted him,
should we
or
tell him
tried
to
to
come?
contact him, of course, but we don't exactly see eye to eye.
Of course. So if we see
Now,
him, if we should be telling him maybe to come see you or something.
Say that last part again?
If we see him, should we be telling him to be coming to see you or something?
Well, he nods, says, well, thank you for that. Were you going to say something? He looks at you, Pico.
first thing's out of character. What's the first letter in his name?
It's a G.
Okay, so Grinstead. Okay.
There.
Now, in character, I'm going to kind of scrutinize him closely on this. And it's like, oh, what's your feeling on the portals? I mean, I know you mentioned the political concerns about it, but if the winds changed on that, I mean, how do you feel about the access to these new worlds, even if most of them are dead?
He kind of sits back and he says, I do agree to some degree, to some extent, in that we should be careful in what we do. We should be careful with what technologies we bring back and what other creatures we allow through. But on the other hand, we can't just turn a blind eye. I am privy to some information, such as the Kylon threat, and we need to keep our options open for how to deal with that threat. And if the Nexus Guild thinks that exploring Lumev is a way to deal with that threat, I am willing to give them the benefit of the doubt for now.
How much of that do I buy based on that insight roll?
He seems to be slightly conflicted, but when he speaks, he's not jittering or showing any signs. Of being nervous or anything like that.
Well, I will tell you this. Based on our expedition so far, we definitely have seen evidence that Pylon have been in that other world. But unlike the other ones that have opened, this one, it does look like they somehow managed to stop it. So while it's still unknown how that was done, so far we do have every reason to believe that there is in fact a way to stop the Kylon without having to seal the world into a shell like it's been for, what would that be, 1,318 years? 17, I think it was.
Well, I certainly hope that that is true. I believe that that is what you believe, if that makes sense. And I am willing to hold out hope for it. Obviously, though, I do have my own doubts. But like I said, as long as we're careful, if this is the approach we have to take, then so be it.
Yep, I definitely agree. At the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do to keep everybody safe. Unfortunately, it does look like there are multiple options.
Well, that is good. And as you are speaking, you see Lord Valenstar passing by, and then Grinstead looks up and he says, well, it looks like it is time for the speech, so I should be there. So if you will pardon me. And then he moves past you. And then, so you see people gathering in the entrance hall, and you can see that a lot of the nobles are coming in from outside and various other rooms in order to listen. Anyway, you notice that one of the people that is standing there is Sirius, which actually most of you actually wouldn't notice or know who he is, but Devak, you recognize him. He is your necromancy contact from the guild, and the person that got you involved with the Circle of Life and Death. Anyway, so everybody starts coming in, and then Lord Valenstar stands in the middle and gestures Paradin over. And he says, "Welcome, everyone. Thank you for attending this celebration today. We are here to celebrate Paradin Grealish, who is becoming the new head priest of the Temple of Godrak here in Mavin. And in addition, we have another interesting group with us here today. We have the expedition team from Lumev, who won the tournament of the Martial Tournament, and were invited here. So, members of the Raging Ire team, please step forward so that you can be recognized." So what do you guys do?
I go ahead and pat Elru on the shoulder as I go ahead and walk forward.
She waves as you pass by. Oh, actually, as you pass by, Pico, she quickly whispers in your ear, later on, when you guys got a moment, could you send Oreo this direction?
Will do.
And then as you get together, he looks around and he says, "One of you is missing. You, the Sadaga, Davak is your name. Come forward.
Okay. Sorry.
One of you is missing. That would be
Galen.
Galen. Yes, thank you. He was not well, I take it?
Unfortunately, no. So he had no choice but to decline. He greatly wanted to be here, though, and regretfully, deeply regrets his absence.
Well, no matter. It is unfortunate, but we will make do. And then he says louder, everyone, the Lumev expedition, braving the new world to bring us new hope. And then everybody claps and cheers, and then you will see them again at dinner, those who are attending the Valenstar dinner event. So we have these two groups. We have Paradin, we have the brave Lumev explorers, and thank you for coming today. We will have fireworks. We will have dancing starting in about half an hour in the lunar ballroom. Later in the parlor, we will have a great performance by the renowned harpist Pava Philiphant, who will be performing a cherished favorite of mine, the River of Silver. It is a song originally written and performed by Garion Skillium, inspired by a moonlit river, just days before ran red with blood, to celebrate the end of the Orcish rebellion in 875. And so I expect that to be a stirring event indeed. So enjoy yourselves, everyone. And make sure to mingle and speak amongst yourselves. And then at this point, everybody cheers. And then he kind of nods to everyone, and then it says, "If you will excuse me." And then he steps away. All right. So what do you guys do?
Go back to fake sipping my wine.
I'll fake sip with you, but I'll actually sip.
It is good to be seeing you again, Master Parrot.
Oops, I was on mute all this time. I walk over to Oreo and mention that a mutual friend would like to speak with you.
Sure. Where do I need to go?
Oh, just follow me. She's close by.
Okay.
I walk Oreo over here.
All right.
Okay. Have a wonderful time, and I will excuse myself for now.
All right. So yeah, as you approach, Elru kind of waves at you, and she says, "Oh, Oreo, it's good to see you made it. How are you doing?"
Great. Just trying to check out the festivities. How's the job?
She kind of bounces on her heels and says, "It's not bad. I'm a bit short-staffed, unfortunately. But all in all, everything's going well. However, I'd kind of like to make use of your talents, if I may. If you'll follow me, let's speak in one of the private alcoves."
She hears a big sigh as I'm following.
Oh, she went the other
Where
way.
did she go?
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
I guess I moved her too fast. She's over here. She moved this
Okay.
way. Yeah. She went around the corner.
Okay.
Alrighty. As you enter, you notice that you see her talking before you enter, but don't hear anything. And then as you cross past the curtains, you suddenly hear her. It's like, welcome, Oreo. Well, I hope you're in for some excitement. Well,
I don't know. The last set of excitement you got me could have also interrupted something pretty critical. So what is it?
Oh, come on. You were fine. It worked, didn't it?
What is it?
Okay. Well, I have a potential little issue. Um, so, as I said, I'm a little short-handed, and I can't go very far for very long. And well, I noticed that there's been someone kind of sneaking around the flower yard. I spotted them a little earlier, but didn't really have time to do anything about it. And anyway, they clearly don't belong. And well, it's easy. All I need you to do is, find them and apprehend them, and well, be discreet and not interrupt the party while you're doing that. I'm willing to pay you 300 silvers.
It's someone in the garden area. Just
Yeah, someone who was sneaking around in the in the flower yard.
am I
I don't know if
supposed
you've
to
been
do
there yet,
this?
but if you go to the parlor, and if you there's a door out there, you can see this big yard that you can't miss it. There's like they got their own river and lake and trees and paths and all sorts of things. So yeah, if you go out and then you go to the north, and then you go west, and you'll be in the parlor room. You'll see a giant harp. You can't miss it. And then there's a door to the north.
And apprehend them with what? I have zero weapons, zero anything.
Um, hmm. Well, okay. What do you normally use as weapons?
Daggers would help, and I just also kind of stretch out the claws, which I can improvise. But I mean, apprehending them would still mean doing it in a non-harmful way. I don't really have rope or cuffs or anything.
Okay. Hmm. I'm I'm surprised at you. Normally I would expect someone like you to sneak stuff in. Anyway, that's fine. That's fine. I can give you some rope and a couple of daggers. Will that work?
Sure, and is it supposed to be a super quiet type of thing where I can't even tell the rest of the party again?
Um, I don't care if they know. The big important thing is just not to disrupt the party.
Okay, fair enough. That I can do. Okay, sure. Where do I need to take this individual if once they're apprehended?
That's a good question. Um, what? Why don't you just bring them back here, where we are now?
And if any of the lords stop me as I'm doing this, what am I supposed to answer with?
Tell them to speak to Elru.
Okie doke. Sure enough, I will do it. I'll see what I can find.
All right, thanks. And yeah, just bring them in here. I'll see you, and then we'll deal with it from there.
Okay.
All right. She leaves, and hold on one second. I gotta check something on the phone.
Okay.
You guys can talk amongst yourselves, though.
I will say at least that then I'll go back to the group. Is everybody together? Yeah, I think most part, right?
Yeah, we're right here.
Yeah.
I would probably ask if you guys, just before we have to do anything, if I can gather you guys up at one of these alcoves that are pretty convenient.
Of course.
Alrighty, follow me, and I'm gonna take you guys to one of these. Sure, why not? This one. Once everyone's in, I will explain the situation, which I hope you guys heard, but or should I just repeat the details again?
There's somebody you need to apprehend.
Apparently,
Looks like, or what they're.
they say that I did not get. That's a good point. They just said they're sneaking around in the garden area. Why the garden area? Don't know either.
Are you needing or wanting a weapon?
That that is kind of taken care of for right now. Um,
All right.
Not my weapons, but it's something, and I just show what Elru's kind of imparted with me for the time being.
Yeah, she gave you 10 feet of rope and 2 daggers.
Okay. I just
Um,
nope. I'm fine.
but yeah, so the idea is it's supposed to be really subtle though, so not anybody catching or that kind of situation. So considering the amount of people around, it might be really helpful if you guys can also kind of help maybe in some degree, like if you catch that maybe in the attempt of me trying to get somebody, I caused too much attention to get some extra help to
Oh,
pull
we can
things
do
away.
non-interference and make this all very hush-hush.
Either
Absolutely.
that or potentially also helping me get whoever this is. I don't even know who I'm facing with.
Would poison help at all?
They didn't say that they needed to be conscious, but it would be kind of helpful to have someone walking next to me the entire time.
No problem.
Because one possibility I could do is if I turn into a venomous snake or something like that, I could attempt to pull off some attack. This is where it would help for people to obstruct things, since I'm going to be more vulnerable if I'm a snake or something. But then it's also if there's some sort of chaos going on. Oh, it's some sort of annoying animal pest and not visitors acting up. So or guests acting up. So maybe that'll help. Just a thought.
Yeah, and perhaps I believe you have the ability to make things very quiet, so we are not making a loud noise. And I
Yeah,
believe
yeah,
we
yeah.
can. I believe we can get this person all wrapped up. I can be webbing them.
Do we have any? We still don't have any way of talking to each other from a distance subtly, do we? Like if you guys are attending to people some other room and I am in need of something from another room, I mean, there's
Yeah,
no
well, we'll
easy
have
way
to
to.
just try and keep line of sight. We don't have communications like that just yet.
Okay, well, I mean, yeah, no, all of that is helpful. I mean, it's depending on the situation, right? But I just figured I wanted to get you guys filled in because,
Okay,
to be honest, I'm getting tired of secrets lately. So,
no problem.
um, but yeah, what I'll do probably from here on out is probably start making my way to the garden area and starting to see what I can scope out. So I'll probably bump into you guys throughout the course of the evening until I can hopefully get something. And then if I need some extra help, I'll try and flag one of you guys down. Yeah, that's cool.
Right, and I'll kind of go behind you. I'll stay about a room away, but I'll try and make sure that I stay within eyesight
Okay,
as I mingle around.
sounds good. All right. Well, if that's the case, then enjoy the rest of the night. I guess I should be going to work.
Right. As you leave the small little room, you can hear music coming from the north, and you can see that there are some people who seem to be starting to head that direction. And then you hear an announcement, um, dancing and music in the lunar ballroom. And as you can see, you get pointed. Somebody's. You can see people kind of heading into this large ballroom. You can see that there's large windows that look out into the garden area. Um, you can see that. Sorry. You can see large windows looking at the garden area. You can see that there's also a second level to this thing on top of the pillars, and you can the second level kind of covers the area that looks a little darker. The floor is just smooth and polished, with this nearly flawless pattern across it. You can see the pillars reflecting in the floor. And on the north side, you can see a group of musicians who have started to play with their lutes and horns and various other instruments. And you can see Lord Valenstar dancing with Lady Valenstar in one corner, and you can see the other nobles, some of the other nobles, starting to pile in, as well as various others who have also been invited. So go ahead and start moving people around. All right. So what is everybody doing?
Trying to figure out which way that was. Oh, I guess still up to the north.
Oh, sorry. Where are you? Okay. Yeah. The ballroom is definitely to the north. Oreo, as you go outside, you can see that there's this large outdoor area. You can see a river or stream flowing lazily flowing by. You can see these fragrant flowers of all shades kind of flowing down the river. And the fragrance is strong enough that you kind of get this sense of perfume everywhere you go. You can see people walking along the paths. You can see a stone bridge that leads over that allows people to cross the river, and you can see a couple of people standing by the lake. And then further to the west, you can see trees and plants all the way up to a set of wooden walls.
Did Elru say where she was staying at throughout this thing besides the room?
You noticed that she was stationed by the main stairs. She went there last time you saw.
Can I, on the way, because I think the stairs was on the way here anyway, could I have gone by her just quickly again to just ask, probably in a thieves' cant, what any remarkable features I should look at?
She tells you also in Thieves' Camp that he saw someone wearing a hood and a cloak who's clearly not a guest or a noble. And the thing that stood out is that he was wandering around and trying to stay hidden.
Okay, got it. All right, carry on.
All right, so you start searching around. Pico, Ire, and Devak, you're in the ballroom. You can see people dancing. The music fills the room. So what are you going to do?
Just give a little dance, a little robot dance.
How do robots dance?
I'd assume something like the dance move, the robot.
They always act like they have loose joints, sort of. Stop motion.
Alrighty. What am I looking for? All right, so you're dancing by yourselves. You're doing the robot.
Yep.
Okay, 15. All right. What is Devak and Pico? What are you guys doing?
Well, I'm trying not to make a bigger fool out of myself than usual, so I am not dancing.
Okay.
I am dancing.
So you're just kind of standing off toward the wall, kind of just watching?
Just taking in the sights.
Okay.
I'm dancing with Ire.
You're dancing with Ire. Are you dancing together, or are you just dancing nearby?
Together.
Okay. All right, so yeah, you're dancing together. Let's see, Ragu, you're going past through that garden area. What is your passive perception? Okay. All right, yeah, so Ragu, you've gone through the garden area. You've gone back inside. You didn't, as you're walking the paths, you didn't notice anything. That's a window, by the way, not a door. But I assumed you went around to go in. Anyway, as you're walking past, you didn't notice anything out of the ordinary. You did see lots of plants and people kind of walking around. It's hard to make heads or tails, what their intentions are, but nobody was doing anything weird or anything. All right, Oreo, you've crossed the bridge. You see some people hanging around the lake. You see a woman who just kind of sitting on the floor, kind of just sitting, looking at the water. And you can tell by her garb that she's some sort of well-to-do merchant or something of that nature. And then you see a fairly tall, muscular man who is just kind of looking at the plants. And you see him kind of bend down and like pull on the grass, and he's mumbling something about um, grass breeds.
Is there, I just want to, I mean, when she's doing this, I'm not trying to do the passive perception. She's like using her guardian skill at this point because she's clearly trying to look for something. So I don't know
Yeah, go
how
ahead and
that's
make
gonna play out.
go ahead and make a roll then. So I guess it'd just be an active roll. If it's with Guardian, I think that would be with advantage.
I guess I'll
Oh,
roll it
oh no, sorry, it's
again.
a guarding skill. Yeah, never mind. So
Mm-hmm.
no advantage, but you got a 27.
Right.
So yeah, as you're looking around, you don't, at least in this area, nothing jumps out at you.
Okay. How are these bushes or trees or how big are these
So these are
areas that,
trees. They're probably about 30 feet tall. You also have bushes, which are much smaller. Then you have bushes with berries over here. Then you have tall grass over here.
what about all of this back
But
here?
these are trees, yes. So these
Um,
big ones are trees.
I do want to at least go through there and then just, I don't know, I guess stealth my way into the bushes and to the point where I'm considered hidden or at least as hidden as possible. So I'll do a stealth check.
Okay, you can do that. Okay, so you're pretty sure that you're well hidden. So it takes someone very skilled to notice you, and they'd probably have to be looking for you.
Start slowly just making my way through these areas, trying to be unnoticed, and again, do another stealth check and stuff along the way. But yeah, you can come back to me. That's the intent for now.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so back to the main group. So yeah, you guys are. Some of you are dancing. Ragu, are you dancing?
Uh, yeah, after I come back in and I see Ire and Devok dancing together, I'm going to go ahead and ask this lady for a very formal dance. You know, the whole the whole very formal bow and everything.
I'm trying to hear you, but you're saying you're going to approach Sadri, Lady Trenchill.
Yes, I'm going to approach her and very formally ask her if she would like this dance.
She uh, she kind of nods her head at you, and she's like, "Wow, why don't you look dashing? Where did you get that suit? That looks quite good on you." Of
Oh, I
course.
got it at Tapkins.
Go ahead.
He's an excellent tailor. I got it at Tapkins. He's an excellent tailor.
Oh wow, I don't think I've ever heard of that place. I'll have to have my people look into that. And then she holds out her hands. And the question is, Ragu, is do you know how to dance?
Well, my background is being an old soldier, so I imagine I've been to.
Hey, you ain't no blade singer.
No, no, I ain't no blade singer, but I can imagine I've been to formal military events before, and sometimes they do have dancing, and that's why I'm walking around all shoulders back, chest puffed up, being as very formal. And I mean, it's not uncommon to have the bravado of a military general or a very formal
Okay.
type at these types of occasions. So,
All right. So you two start dancing, and she says, you're not bad at this. I see you've been to these kinds of things before."
just a few, not for a very long time. You are very elegant, milady.
Oh, why, thank you. So, um, you're part of that expedition. From what I've heard earlier, is that right?
That is correct. I am Monsieur Bluebad of the Lumev expedition.
Well, well, you know what I'm looking for. I definitely believe wholeheartedly in this endeavor. We have to get out there and see what's there, see what went wrong in those other worlds, and the only thing that disheartens me is that it isn't it isn't my house at the forefront of this. It's like we have the people, we have the talent, but uh, but yeah, we just haven't been able to contribute. Where are you from?
Well, I'm sure you. I am from very far away. Uh, but I am sure that you will be contributing very soon. I mean, they needed to have the best talent, and even they were at first destroyed. So it's a very dangerous place. But any place exploring, striking out into the unknown would be dangerous. And I have very much confidence that once me and my team have done what we are to be doing, we have blazed the trail for many more teams to be coming in, like perhaps from your family.
Ah, yes,
We need
yes,
to
that all
create
makes
more
sense.
infrastructure.
But if you ever felt like you aren't getting enough support from your own house, if you and your allies decided you wanted more support from House Trenchel, you can come visit me, and perhaps we can make some arrangements.
I will most definitely remember your very kind officer, my lady.
Meanwhile, hold on, sorry, 1 second. All right. Meanwhile, Devok and Ire are busy dancing together. Um, and Pico, where are you and what are you doing?
I guess I'm in the room between the two courtyards. I've been kind of walking around, taking in the place.
I see. So as you're walking around, yeah, you can definitely see Elru kind of just standing and keeping watch. You
Oh, for what it's worth, I did go outside to each courtyard and do a little circuit before coming back in.
okay? So yeah, in the courtyards, you see a couple of the nobles who are who are basically walking around, relaxing and looking at the fountains. Um, and you also notice that, you also see um, Aberrant Ikla, who you recognize Ikla House as being one of the foreign houses from the Kingdom of Thomer, and so you can see that he was invited to the party. And but also, you happen to notice the same person that in the west courtyard, kind of sitting back in the corner by himself. The same person that you saw speaking at the Blackstone Blade. If you remember when you went and you interrupted the meeting, one of the people seemed to be more important than the other. One of them you'd met at the festival, at the tournament, and then he met with somebody and he was surprised at how high rank he was. Anyway, that very person seems to be standing kind of with next to some bushes, and is kind of watching the nobles around the fountain, and that would be this person here.
Alrighty. That's quite interesting. And all right.
So that's that
Oh,
one, and that would be Pico. All right, and see, that's you. Oreo, you're still wandering around the trees, right?
Yeah, I want to do a, I guess it's a survival to check if I can spot any tracks.
Okay, go for it. Okay, you see all the tracks. Um, so, from what you can tell, there are numerous tracks that kind of cross through this place, and you can see amongst the plants, kind of hidden away, is one of the landscapers. You can tell because they have landscaping tools and they seem to be trimming some plants, and you can tell that this place gets, despite how wild it looks, it gets regular landscaping to keep it kind of in this condition. However, you don't see any. You, these tracks seem to follow a pattern. They seem to be away, out on the outskirts or in between plants. They seem to avoid stepping on or through plants as much as possible. Um, but you, but none of them really stand out to you.
Because I'm bordering the wall area, can I do a dungeon delvers check to see if there's any kind of special cracks that might be leading to an exit of some sort, a secret exit or
Sure.
something?
Yep. All right. You, as you're looking at the wall, you don't see an exit per se, but you do notice several kind of splinters in the wall, almost uh, like something kind of sharp, kind of dragged down on it, maybe a grappling hook or something, perhaps. Um, and it does lead to one of the sets of tracks. And while the tracks themselves look nondescript, you notice that they start right where those gashes in the wall are.
And you said at first though that the tracks didn't seem all that significant. This particular set that's corresponding to what might look like grappling hook, is that a
It
separate path that the others I've been seeing right now?
it seemed to follow the same style of paths. Almost, it avoided the plants, and it's like whoever left the tracks was acting just like one of the gardeners. The main difference is that they end at the wall instead of continuing.
But if they're mimicking maybe the gardener or the landscapers, can I follow the path just for some time? I don't know where that exactly is going to lead me, but I just want to use the that time to kind of just follow through
Okay,
with that.
so you're following the path. We'll give that a little bit of time, and then
Mm-hmm.
when we come back, I'll tell you where it leads.
Okay.
Alrighty. So is there Devok and I? Are you still dancing, or are you gonna do anything else?
Yeah, the music's still going. I'm still dancing.
Okay,
Same.
you two are dancing. All right, Ragu, you are dancing with Lady Trenchel, and then the song you're on ends, and the dance ends. So what do you do next?
Well, the dance ends. I very formally bow and say, perhaps I shall be seeing you again shortly. Perhaps another dance later in the evening.
Perhaps I would welcome that.
And I very um, formally take my leave, grabbing her hand to kiss it gently before I go, the whole thing.
All right.
And now I'm going to head around.
Okay. So as actually, go ahead and stop there, because as you enter, let me make sure I got this right. As you enter, you notice that someone is sitting at the harp, and you can see that she's wearing nice clothing. She has a gold band in her hair and jewels on her fingers. and you see that people have started to pour in, and you hear an announcement that the performance of the Silver River is about to begin.
Uh,
All right, and you see people coming in and sitting down, and you notice that Lord Valenstar himself comes in and sits with with Lady Valenstar, and as they're going by, you hear him you hear him talking softly to Lady Valenstar, but you make out. Well, I hope that Hamilla is feeling better later today. I really hope that my granddaughter can make it to dinner. And with that, the music starts to play, and it is a stirring song of victory, of sadness and contemplation. And you feel these emotions kind of swelling like waves as she plays with a skill that you probably have never heard before. All right.
Beautiful.
So Ragu, do you stay to listen or do you keep going?
I would love to listen, but I must be going mission calls. And as I step out of the room, just beautiful. And I walk in here and I start looking around.
Okay. As you pass by, you notice one of the nobles kind of just, s- leaning against a tree. You can see Lord Clayman. And you can see, as usual, there are servants who are just kind of running back and forth. You can see, like one of them is carrying a glass of wine, one of them is taking something away, another one is bringing some sort of fruits or something like that. And it just
Does
seems like the guy is constantly surrounded by a buzz of servants.
all right? Does Lord Cayman look like he's
Sorry, say that
leaning
again?
against the tree? Does Lord Cayman look like he's leaning against a tree because he's had just a few too many?
No, you look at him and you know he's leaning against a tree. As he kind of looks up at you, you can tell that he is definitely very sober and aware of his surroundings.
Okay, he's just looking for some air then. Good, good.
All right, so
Am I
while you're
seeing
moving there, I'm going to go ahead and go back to Pico. So what are you doing, Pico?
One question is I'm going to come in and look around some more. I'm going to ask Elru, hey, do you know what's the deal with that guy over at the north end of the courtyard?
Oh, him? Yeah, his name is Churko. He he's connected. He's not a noble, but he knows several how to do merchants, and he's got a decent amount of money. His full name is Churko Bethesda. I don't know much about him, honestly. I'm gonna go ahead and show his name. Oh, actually, you already see his name. Okay. Uh, Yeah, I don't know much about him, but like I said, he's well-to-do, so he was invited. Why do you ask?
Well, he's. I, I kind of know he's been up to something suspicious in the past.
Oh, has he now? Well, I suppose that's not too surprising. I mean, I expect half the people here have been up to something suspicious in the past.
Yeah, but his brand of suspicious is a little bit more of the, and I just flick out a single claw and then put it back variety.
Oh, I see. Well, um, I guess I'll keep an eye out on him. Although I kind of doubt he's here to do anything. He's here to do anything. Maybe he's going to meet with somebody here later, perhaps, but I doubt he's going to cause any trouble.
Well, I think you're right. Although if he takes any unusual interest in any of those Nexus Guild explorers. It'd be interesting to hear about that.
Okay, well, fair enough. Well, I guess have fun. Although I hear that Lord Valenstar, I heard him saying he seems to be lamenting on his granddaughter not feeling well, but hopefully she shows up tonight. I guess a lot of people are dying to see her.
Oh, interesting choice of words. All right. I'm actually, is this issue with the granddaughter sudden?
Say it again.
Is this issue with the granddaughter sudden?
I think so. The last couple of days. I'm not. I'm not sure. It's either she's sick or she's really stressed out about something. One of the two. Maybe both.
All right. I'll definitely take that in mind. And then one last quick question. Yeah, have you happen to seen Oreo around?
Oh, yeah. She's in the flower yard. If you go up toward the lunar, sorry, go up toward the lunar ballroom, and then you go to the west into the parlor room. There's a big harp. You can't miss it. And then you go through the north through the door, and you'll be in the flower yard. Where in there she is, who knows? It's pretty big.
All right. Well, I may check it out. I have to admit, this is a beautiful estate. It's been a long time since I've been at a place so regal.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, it is the Valenstar estate. They are well, between you and me, they are the top noble family in the city, and they're pretty far up there in the kingdom too. So, you know.
All right. Well, hopefully the celebration isn't keeping you busy, and or hopefully the festival isn't keeping you too busy from having fun.
Oh, yeah, and don't forget, in about 4 minutes, we're going to have the acceptance speech for the High Priest Paradin in the entrance hall.
Oh yeah, I was hearing about him. So yeah, I'll have to offer my congratulations to him.
Good, good.
All right.
All right. Meanwhile, Devok and Iyer, a lot of people have left the ballroom, but the musicians continue to play, and there's still a couple of sets of dancers who continue to dance. So, what do you two do?
Is there any announcement about the?
Yeah, you heard the announcement
All right,
that
yeah.
the silver the performance of the Silver River in the parlor room, which is over here.
Yeah, sure, I'll go to there.
Okay, as you enter, you see this beautiful woman with a gold band and jewels on her fingers playing this harp, this giant, massive harp, and you can see that, or you feel emotions swelling in you as you both triumphant and sad and contemplative. It's like riding waves on an ocean, and you can see everybody quietly listens. And it seems like Lord Valenstar, who is and his wife, who are sitting listening as well. But Lord Valenstar in particular seems to be especially moved by the song. So, do you guys do anything, or you just listen?
Oh yeah, just listen.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Oreo, so you followed the tracks, and so I'm gonna go ahead and move your token as you're going.
Mhm.
So you're following, and they're going in between the trees and the plants, and then it seems to reach the main road, and then it seems to reach the bridge, and then go across, and that's let's see what you get. Oh, you got a 28. So yeah, so you go across the bridge, and then it goes around and around, and you can see the massive windows into the dance hall. and continues to go around and around, and with your passive perception and your ability to follow tracks, you can tell that there's a figure that is currently hiding in the bushes and trees, and I have put them on the map. They are not aware of your presence. Or they're aware of your presence, but they're not yet aware that you notice them. But you definitely do.
What I want to do is I want to be like around this wall, like kind of doing just like a little bit of slight pacing, but in that I want to do a very like a chirpy kind of whistle that I would hope Ragu is familiar with from just
This
ongoing
is
trainings.
perfect. I can see you.
But yeah, so my intention is to
Right
kind of
here.
whistle to kind
I
of.
was.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
know, but I'm just my idea is that I'm essentially trying to call out to you like, got him. I
Okay.
need,
Yep.
I
Okay.
need
Okay,
that kind of.
Ragu, you hear the whistling, although it's kind of hard to hear over the noise, but you do hear it.
Yeah, and I do see her
Yeah.
through the windows, and I come hurrying over.
Yep.
Um,
Seeing
I kind
Ragu
of,
head off in the start, I start following him.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
and I'm
do
trying to be nonchalant about it. I'm not rushing, but
right.
I'm walking quickly.
So,
Yeah, I'm just
Ragu, you don't notice anybody. You don't notice that figure that's on your map now. But Pico, because you're passive perception, you do notice them. Someone is hiding in the trees and doesn't real and thinks they're hidden.
All right.
Go ahead.
So I very quietly gesture to Oreo. It's like, okay, where is the guy?
a couple of feet behind me, but the real issue is the people that are standing behind Pico. If I start doing something here, that might call their attention. I don't know how much you want to do any of that.
All right. Um,
Hmm.
Pico, do you think you can walk them the other way, and I can send the web this
I
guy, and Oreo
might
can
have
finish
an
securing him?
idea. I might have an idea, but let me check something first. I'll be right back. I'm gonna, whoops, step out of view a bit. Let's
Okay.
see. All right, and now that I'm over here, um, let's see. What do I want to use?
And as you are waiting, as you're trying to figure this out, everybody, you hear a magically loud announcement. Seems to reach everybody, and it says that the new High Priest Paradin Grealish is going to give his acceptance speech in the entrance hall.
I believe we are out of time, Pico.
I'm just gonna go ahead and cast a little prestidigitation, just a shower of sparks, just to see what um, just like I'm just doing a little trick for myself.
Okay, yeah, you do so. It works.
Perfect. Okay. Let me go ahead and catch up. Um,
And you notice that these people start walking. Pardon me, the lady says as they start
uh,
walking past.
hold on. Oh, I don't know why I tried to hit spacebar to pause.
Sorry,
um,
say it again.
I
Yeah,
said
this
I
is a
don't know why I
video
hit
game.
spacebar to pause, but anyway, I'm going to. Well, I guess especially now that they're past me, I am going to cast a different spell. I am going to cast Conjure Animals. I'd like to conjure up a bunch of constrictor snakes up in the tree.
Okay, you do so.
But did you
And
at least wait until the folks that said were passing by pass by?
well, I guess I'm not sure who's the target here. So, um,
We don't want to cause any commotion, so if you
okay,
want to
I'll
skip
wait for
the
them to go
hair,
Yeah.
past then.
Okay, they
yeah.
seem to be moving past in order to get to the speech. So
Perfect.
I'm
Okay.
going to go ahead and pause you guys for a second there while you guys figure out what to do. And back to Devok and Ire. The song ends, and you notice that Lord Valenstar and Lady Valenstar, as well as the other nobles, start heading out, heading toward the entrance hall for the speech. So, what do you guys do?
Yeah, I'll follow.
Okay, you guys are following along. All right, so at this point in time, you see that Paradin kind of stands by the fountain, and he turns toward everybody. He kind of sweeps around and bows deeply, and he says, "Thank you for celebrating my ascendance to High Priest of Gadric. And is my mission is to help all people to come together as one. I want everyone to be able to live in peace and harmony and be able to come to the temple to renew and move forward. It is my belief that we should foray into these other worlds, and it is my belief that there is a coming tide of danger, but we will be strong enough to fight against it. And so, once again, I wish to thank everyone, and I hope to see all of you in the temple, especially you, Lord Valenstar. Your house has always supported us, and I wish to see you continue to support us." And then he turns around and he says, "And you, Ire, as well as your friend who could not make it today, you too have supported us as well, and I thank you." And and then he turns back. He's about to say something, and then he stops himself, and then he turns back and he says, "Thank you once again," and he bows. And then everybody cheers and claps, and then Paradin continues for a couple more minutes in his speech, talking about the very specific steps he was going to take. And at this point in time, it starts going and becoming more boring, and I'm sure Ayer's already tuned it out. And then everybody starts to disperse. But before Paradin goes, he stops by Ire, and he says, "Ire, you and Galen really need to visit your friend Kragar. I know you've been helping him out lately, but I believe that he is troubled and may do something rash.
Okay.
And let's just say that I am aware of HV, and so is Kragar. I'm not sure how he found out what you learned, but he did, and that's how I know. And I think he may act on that irrationally. So please, seek him out when you can, and I will attempt to rectify things in my own way. I am meeting with Lord Valenstar myself later today to talk about this very matter. And so please, let me deal with it, and let's make sure Kragar doesn't go back to the life he once had."
Of course.
All right, Ire, so what do you do?
I said, of course. I'll be sure that we find him immediately.
Yes,
Well, as soon as we can.
and Galen, tomorrow if possible, go back to the temple and seek out Kragar.
Mhm.
Well, it was nice speaking to you. I will see you at the dinner. So please enjoy yourselves, and you too, Devok. It was I've been hearing a lot about the Sidaga who braves Lumev for the city, despite all the issues that and discrimination that you must face. I believe there's someone here who wishes to speak to you about that. I will send them your way. They might be able to help.
Sounds good.
And then he starts moving on. Alrighty, back to the other half of the party. So the everybody kind of left temporarily, at least, in order to go to the announcement. And one of the things you notice is that once people start leaving, you notice that the assassin starts slowly and quietly moving. So what do you do?
I first off grab Ragu to where I'm at, and I tell him, "You stay here because if something doesn't work according to what I think Pico's about to do, then you're gonna be one exit obstacle. I'm gonna be the other, and I'm gonna
Got
start
it.
making my way over here, letting Pico do what he's gonna do, what I figure he's gonna do."
All right, I'm going to go ahead and conjure constrictor snakes right here at the tree, or where the assassin is.
Okay.
And oh, go ahead.
So is the idea of conjuring them there that you're hoping they'll fall on top of them or something?
No, the plan is I want them all to attack him and try to grapple him.
Okay, fair enough. Go ahead and you three roll initiative. He is definitely surprised. There's no roll because he's not aware that you're aware of him yet. So you basically get a surprise round. And we know what the constrictor snakes are, so I am just going to look them up. I'm not going to bother bringing them out.
Yeah, that's fine.
Come on, snakey. Constrictor snake, here we go. And what is their initiative? Well, I'm just going to cheat this time and let them go when you go. So you gave them the command, so I'm just going to go ahead and do their rolls. Because he's not aware of them, they basically are going to get advantage. But any attacks after they're done will no longer have advantage. Alright, +4 to hit. And how many did you say?
8.
So first one misses. Second one hits. Third one hits. Fourth one hits.
Aren't they rolling with advantage?
That's right. Fifth one hits. Sixth one misses. Seventh misses. 8 misses. And then I got to re-roll 8 again. So 1, just in case. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that is a 10. And looks like the reroll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, the reroll is 13. So that first one misses. The second one hits. Third one hits. Fourth one hits. Sixth one hits. Seventh one misses. Eighth one hits. So that is 5 hits. Alrighty. So it does 1d8 plus 2.
No, does
We'll
it
just do
damage?
5d8
Oh, and I am trying to take this guy alive.
plus 10.
I was gonna say, are you actually doing damage, or are you trying to grapple?
Well, the constrict is an attack that does damage and grapples.
Oh, okay.
And let's see, the target is grappled. Okay, so he has to specifically do an escape, which we'll deal with later. So they're basically, you see 5 of the snakes are currently constricting various parts of his body, doing a total of 40 points of damage. And Pico, it's still your turn. The snakes have attacked him. You have a surprise round, which means he's not going to be able to react until next round. So what are you going to do?
Let's see. Unfortunately, I left a lot of my good equipment behind. Yeah, I don't have much to do with that. Okay, I'm gonna move up and also grab onto the guy, and it's like, Oreo, you said you had a rope?
I do.
All right. Actually, I guess I'm going to try and grapple this guy as well. And
Okay, go ahead and make a strength check with advantage. Or athletics check with advantage. And then he'll do his strength check. Okay, so you do have him grappled.
okay.
So that was your action. You still have your bonus action, and so actually no, you did the snake. Oh no, that was ahead of time. So yeah, so what are you going to do with your bonus action?
I can't think of anything to do at the moment. So
Okay, he's grappled. He's got 1/3 of his hit points left. It's a surprise round, so he misses his turn. And this is completely out of order, so let me fix that. All right, Oreo. You can see through the trees that the snakes are on top of him, and he is currently grappled. What are you going to do?
I tell Pico, can you tell one of them to at least like wrap itself around its mouth really nice and tight, just to avoid anything? And I hand him the rope, or I guess I can help him with putting the rope on. I guess I don't know which tie is better, through the back, or I don't know what makes more sense, but I'll take your guidance. Just I don't know which way.
how about around the back? Because we can use a cloak. What if this guy is drunk and we're just helping him out?
Good idea. Okay, so tying him up through the back, but definitely make sure that his mouth is covered for the time being. And I kind of look over to the guy and just say, "Any funny moves, and you have bigger fish to fry." So
Okay.
horrible line,
So at
but you
this
get it.
point in time, with him losing 2/3 of his hit points, with a bunch of snake bites, and being grappled by 5 snakes plus Pico, and you just tied him up, we're going to say combat's over, and
Oh.
he stops. He stops moving.
I didn't even get to do my thing. Oh well.
You can cover his mouth.
As I come up, is like, well, it looks like I am not really needed here. And then I just kind of snap my fingers and summon Char, and I hold my hand out as Char drops the iridescent dagger that I handed to him at the beginning of all this. And then I snap my fingers so he goes back into his pocket dimension. And then I'm going to use the butt of the iridescent dagger to knock him unconscious. Do I need to make a roll for that, or do I just clunk him?
You guys have him grappled, so we're just going to say it works.
All right.
And then I look over to Argoon. I go, I don't know if we needed to get him unconscious because now we need to walk in the place and.
And suddenly you notice that one of the dancers is kind of looking through the window at all the funny commotion in the bushes. You get the sense that she doesn't quite know what's going on because you guys are in the bushes, but she can see like the bushes moving and probably heard the snakes and so on and
All right. I
whispering.
have a reaction.
Okay.
Can I use a reaction?
Yeah.
Quickly, I grab Oreo
Mm.
and kind of actingly stumble out to the edge of the bushes and plant a big old kiss on her face.
Okay.
Do
Oreo,
you
what do you
need?
do? Do you go along
No,
with it?
yeah, I go along with it. And I think she knows him well enough to kind of figure out that okay, he's pulling something. But is it supposed to be you're playing drunk or am I playing drunk? I don't know that part, but
We're supposed to be making out and fooling around in the bushes. That's what she
gotcha.
sees as
Okay,
the
so
commotion.
Ragu, go
And then
Okay.
ahead.
we're gonna go back into the bushes after she
Well,
realizes it's
before
just two
that,
people
go ahead
kissing.
and give me a deception check or a performance check, and you have advantage because Oreo's helping you.
Alrighty, coming right up.
Because I was gonna say, me and Pico can still see the person approaching the window, or are we consider not noticing it, even though
Well,
we're
you
right?
guys were in the middle of combat, and as she was approaching,
Ah,
and
okay,
so
okay,
Ragu had a reaction. He hadn't taken his turn yet, which gave him an
gotcha.
extra opportunity.
Okay,
Yeah,
fair.
which is why I was watching. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Good luck to me. Well, good luck to us.
Okay,
Ooh.
uh, and you see her through the window smirk, and then go back and find her partner and resume dancing.
Okay, now let's go back into the bushes here. Oh, close call.
Yeah, nice save. I did not see that one. Okay, so again, we've got an unconscious fellow here, but I believe we need to walk into the place, which is full with guests, and I don't know how we're gonna be able to cover up that we've got someone completely unconscious unless we put him in between. Like maybe if you two, since you
Wait a
guys are
second. Wait a
taller than
second.
me.
Yeah. Where are we needing to take him again?
I can show you guys which alcove we need to bring him into, but we need to still bring him into the building, which is going to be a big thing. My thought here is, what if he is like super drunk and has an arm over each one of your shoulders as you guys are supposedly helping him come in?
I
That
wholeheartedly agree. And
that
to
is
help hide the
exactly what I
restraint,
think. Yes.
I'll even throw my cloak over his shoulders so that you can't see that his arms are tied up or anything.
Can you get the cloak kind of drag onto his feet so no one can tell that he's now walking?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
he's
Don't
drunk
worry. I
enough,
can
that's not
kind
a
of do
big
a
issue.
shuffle.
But before putting it on him, I'll go ahead and change the style to something a little more close to what the guy's wearing. It's still looking like something a visitor might wear, and I'll make sure it's long enough that it drags along the ground.
Okay, so yeah, you guys start dragging him out and trying to make him look like he's drunk, and you're helping him along.
Yeah.
I'll
This way.
need
I'm
somebody.
gonna
Through the kitchen.
I'm gonna walk in front of both of them, all three of them. So essentially, I'm heading the troop here only because I also want to obscure anyone's sight of what's directly between these two guys.
Oh,
So I'm essentially leading the way, and if anybody's like kind of like curious, I say, move along. If someone's just taking a little too much tonight, it's all good, and that's essentially what she's gonna do.
okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to need you guys to do then is, and any of you three can do it because you're all working together. Give me a performance or a deception check, and we'll see how good this fakery works. You have
I
advantage
Anybody
because you're
better
all
than
working
plus
together.
0?
I do not want to do it. I've got a -1.
All right. How's about you, Pico?
Where it's a performance or deception,
Either of those, yes.
Yeah.
I've got a whopping 1, but I can allow me to offer some expert guidance.
To yourself, because that's
Yes,
unless
because I have a 0. And
and
wait a second. Don't
actually,
you have it naturally as a cat?
Hmm?
Have what naturally as a cat?
Do Tabaxi not get performance as a standard skill?
No,
no.
that doesn't help you
Okay.
speak.
And also, we're gonna go the opposite direction. I just realized this is not the way really going in, so let's go this way.
This is the kitchen. It'll take us in the back way.
Yeah, but I don't know if there's necessarily you can come in through this door type of way.
Yeah, I've already gone through it once.
They didn't say anything to you?
The fastest way. Nope.
Okay.
It's the
They
fastest
told you
way.
to basically don't get in the way and go through quickly.
Okay. Then
Yeah.
yeah, let's do that.
But since we were guests, we were fine.
But yeah, go ahead and roll Pico because you've got the better one of all of us.
And just so you guys are aware, even though I don't have tokens for absolutely everybody, but there's going to be a bunch
Yeah.
of people in the kitchen, and the place is generally packed.
All right, persuasion, 11.
Now I will tell you that this you can use a fate point if you so desire.
It's totally up to you.
All right, I'll go ahead and do it. So what does that let me do?
You basically re-roll. You can have the advantage again with the same bonus you had before. Okay. You can use more than one fate point, or you can tell me that's what it is.
Let's just accept what it is, man. It's too costly.
Okay, so at this
Yeah, I was
point in
gonna say,
time,
can I
then,
burn a fate point and roll for him? I know I've
Well,
got a crap.
no, I
but-
mean he's doing the roll. He'd have to burn the fate point.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, that's fine. So as you're stumbling into the kitchen, you notice, or one of the kitchen staff walks up. Who are the two that are actually propping him up? That would be Ragu and Pico, right?
Pico, yeah, I'm standing in front of them, in front of the guys more specifically,
Okay.
so it's obscuring him.
Okay, so you're in front. So the person walks up to you, Oreo, and it's like, is he okay? The guy in the back, he seems, is he
He's-
even conscious?
He took
he's a bit
one
drunk.
too many. Yeah, he's gonna be fine. We're gonna just take him so he can rest up, get him a cup of water, a couple of gallons of water probably at this point, but he's gonna be fine. We just found him outside laying around, not great. You know how many guests are in here. The last thing we want to do is cause any commotion. He's gonna be fine. Go on, carry with the rest of your night. We'll fill you in if anything of pertinent attention is will come about.
Okay. So,
Since this is the kitchen,
well, before
I
she does that, before you do that, Oreo, that basically sounds like either a persuasion or a deception. You.
well, that's where I'm trying to help her with that
Okay, go
because if
ahead.
there's any alcohol in there, I'm going to go ahead and point over at the wine, and it's just like, you know how wonderful this stuff is. You serve this to the guests every time, and oh man, it's just people just indulge a little too much, then it's a lot too much.
Okay, fair enough. So you have advantage. Okay, so yeah, the person's nodding, and it's like, yeah, yeah, okay, I get it. Um, Tell you what, if you go through this door, there's a couch right outside the door, um, and just put the guy on the couch, and then I'll bring him out some coffee. How's that?
That's amazing. I just don't want him to necessarily caught too much attention. I mean, you already noticed how, just passing by here, you caught him off guard and it was just like, what's going on? We don't want to make a commotion or anything, so it's all right. We've got a place already here that Elru's already pointed out that we'll take care of him. Trust me, we're good.
Oh, okay, okay, I get it now. Go ahead.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Great food. And I keep
Yep.
walking.
All right, you guys can keep going. I'll just move the guy afterward.
Okay.
Anyway, you as you come through, you hear the a speech kind of winding up. You can tell it's definitely gotten past the exciting parts, more to the boring part of the speech. But you see quite the crowd to the south of people listening in, and one particular guy is kind of just standing there on the carpet in the distance, watching. So what do you do?
Just elbow both of Ragu and Pico kind of going like, I don't know what to do with this guy, but it's literally just around the door, like right there.
Yeah, this guy,
You
he's
talk
just
to him, we go
watching.
around.
Yeah, this guy, he's just watching us, or
No,
he's
he's
watching
he's
through the
he's
door at a
facing to the
distance.
south. He's looking at the speech.
Ah,
Okay,
okay,
that
okay,
does a
I got
little
that.
better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So okay,
I
then we can walk around this way. I'll stand on this side though, just to block any particular side, and I literally let them go next to me so that they can make it through the alcove there.
Okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and make a perception roll for him with disadvantage. Fortunately, he had disadvantage, so he failed.
Gosh.
Had he not had disadvantage, he would have noticed right away.
Um, as soon as they're in, I'm just gonna look over, nod, and smile, and then make
And
my
then
way into the
suddenly you
alcove.
notice Elru's walking your direction, and she
Yep.
walks inside. So this is the guy, huh? So what do you know?
You didn't say to
know he is
interrogate the
unconscious.
guy. Yeah. You
Well, he
said to
must be a
capture
real
him.
snake because he attracted a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, I can see
Ha
that.
ha.
What is that? Half a dozen?
Half a baker's dozen.
All right. Well, I'll take him from here. He hands you a sack, Oreo. It has the 300 silvers in there, and she
Uh,
says, "Well, you can do with that as you will with your friends. But anyway, thanks for the work. When if it's appropriate, when I figure out what his deal is, I'll contact you."
Sounds good. Do you want these back? Because if anyone catches it with me with these,
Yeah.
I don't want to be.
Yep. Yep. She takes the daggers. Thank you so much for handling that for me. Like I said, I'm short-staffed. and I don't know what this guy's deal is, but we needed to deal with them before you can interrupt things. You know how these things go.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm gonna take
Did you
my
guys?
cloak back.
Yeah. Did you guys have any questions or
Okay.
anything? Because I think you guys were kind of wondering, I think, or not. I don't know.
Well,
I was just
believe
more
it or
curious.
not, if it has to do with Elru, I'm not surprised. She told you something, so all right, let's go do it. I kind of quickly summon Char, hand him my dagger, and send him away again.
Okay.
Yeah, I only asked if it was just in case it was something you needed, to get information out of him. If
Uh,
Elgar's got that handled, I'm fine with that.
I guess, do you guys want your share? You guys did help me out, like, here, and I, like, open up the pouch, 100 each.
I'm not above taking it, although as far as I'm concerned, it was just a favor. So if you want to keep it,
Yeah,
fine. If you insist on sharing, I'll graciously accept.
Go ahead and take 100
my
each.
feelings
You
as
guys are
well.
good.
Okay.
Okay.
As far
So
as I'm concerned, this was more entertaining than the party so far. uh, well, more adventurous at least.
yeah, fair enough. All right.
All right, no, that's just Ragu's opinion. I think it's an awesome party.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Anyway, while that's happening, the speech starts. The people start breaking apart. The speech is over. But Devok and Ire, you notice.
Oh, sorry. One last quick thing. I'm also going to go ahead and take the snakes back. I'm going to keep them around for the while, just in case. So I'll just be wearing them, so to speak, concealed with the cloak.
Okay. Anyway, so Devok and Ire, you notice that someone is approaching you. Let me find their token real quick. I don't remember where I put them. No, no. This place is just too dang big. Ah, there he is. Anyway, you notice someone approaching you, and you can see that it is Lord Ikla. And once he arrives, Ire, he says, "Can I have something I wish to speak to you and your friend about, if you don't mind?" It involves your. He's speaking to Ire and Devok. It involves a specific interest of yours that I think I might be able to help with.
Oh,
If so, come on, let's go to one of the alcoves, please. And he
Sure.
starts heading toward one of the alcoves. And then once you find your way in, he says that yes, my name is Aberrant Ikla, and as you may know, I am actually one of the lord of um, one of the houses from the kingdom of Thomer. Anyway, I will get right to the point. I have I've heard through my sources various activities that you two and another of your Galen, I think his name is. I believe that you've been seeking out some sort of equality movement, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
correct.
Um, can you tell me about a bit about your movement and what it is you believe in?
Equality for all races.
And how do you intend to assuage people's fears, especially when it comes to foreign elements like you, Ire? I have no fear of you, but you are from another world, and who knows what your kind might be capable of. Or you, as a Sadaga, you were once a human, or an elf, or a dwarf, or what have you, and you were transformed, and many of your kind have lost their minds. Quite frankly, and not that I blame them. I mean, anybody would lose their minds after going through something so traumatic. It's amazing that you have it. But how do you assuage people of these fears?
Um, well, it's a work in progress, but as of right now, largely through protest and door-to-door community building activities.
I see. Well, I should tell you something a little bit about myself then. I there were several members of my house, of House Ikla, that were transformed into Sadaga during the war. And they have since then come back, but due to political pressures, we were forced to excommunicate them. We were forced to turn our backs on them for the good of the house. And while it pained me to do so, what choice did we have? Had I not done so, in Thomer, our house would have collapsed. And I unfortunately am responsible for the entirety of the house. And so it, it was unfortunate. But yet they were once friends. And this is not something that I think kindly of. I don't think it was right. And I am willing to take that burden, but I would rather someday be able to welcome them back without the house crashing around me. So my hope. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, nothing.
No, speak.
I was just agreeing.
All right. Anyway, so my hope is that if change were to be enacted here in Mavin, perhaps it will change in other parts of the Empire as well. Perhaps we can become better as an empire. So I cannot do anything directly. The same political pressures apply here. Just because I'm not at home does not mean the rooms from home do not apply, unfortunately. However, there may be things behind the scenes that I can do to help you out. So, what I would ask of you, and please include your ally as well, is in the next coming weeks to come, the three of you, to come by House Akla. It's in the Noble District. You can get directions. And let's have some discreet discussions on what I can do to help you out. What do you say?
Okay. Sure.
Sure.
Is there any concerns or questions?
Not yet.
Okay then. When do you have a date that you will be available, or would you rather that I figure out a time?
You can figure out a time and then we'll work around that.
So be it. I will have my people contact your people. I know where you're staying, and expect to hear from me soon.
Cool.
All right then. Thank you for your time.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point in time, he starts heading out.
Out of curiosity, could I see who they were talking to?
Yeah, you didn't hear anything. Actually, where are you?
Right where you see me.
Okay. Yeah, so you saw them in there. You saw it was Lord Ikla. You couldn't hear anything what they were saying, obviously, but yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to walk over to him and just nudge him a little bit. And it's like, just so you know, I'm a friend. And maybe next time you want to keep the curtains closed.
He kind of, you see his eyebrow raise, and he says, your friends are in no danger.
Didn't say they were.
Okay then. And
Yeah,
then,
just sometimes ears have eyes.
so be it. And then he starts walking on. Alrighty. So at this point in time, you hear another announcement, and it says the Valenstar dinner is about to begin. And at this point in time, Elru takes care of him. A butler arrives to show you the way. So what I will do is everybody who plans on attending the dinner, just go ahead and stack up on top of Pico, and I'll move you guys along. All right. So he leads you through. Come on. Dang it. He leads you through the parlor. I'll fix that in a minute. And then he leads you into the round room. And the round room is what it sounds like. It's the wooden walls are smooth and circular, and painted on the walls are murals of nature scenes and greenery, and you can see the reflections on the smooth floor, and you get this sense almost like you're passing through a forest, even though it's a simple round room. And they then take you into a massive hallway, which you can see leads to many, many rooms, and then finally leads you into the dining hall itself. And then I will now take the opportunity to fix the character, not where. There you go.
Oh God. Is there an assigned seating arrangement here, or?
So you can see people coming in. It's clear that Lord Valenstar is going to be sitting at the head of the table.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! You think you're better than me?
He does. And then
Don't
you
say that. Don't
see
do that,
the
guys.
various other nobles start climbing in. You're basically assigned to essentially, I'll put you guys down. You guys can do whatever order you want, but essentially those seats. But you guys can change order or what have you as you want, which you can do while I'm grabbing everybody else. And of course, Paradin is going to join, and he's at the other head of the table. And as you're sitting, Lord Valenstar lets you know, or says, "Welcome, everyone. I'm afraid that Lady Valenstar is feeling quite tired tonight and is retiring early. However, my granddaughter, my granddaughter Hemilla Valenstar, she is going to join us. Ah, there she is, as she enters. Come this way, granddaughter. Please have a seat next to me." And then she sits down, and then the others start piling in. All right, and they pile in. As Clayman sits down, you can see that he's surrounded by servants, and then you see what looks like a butler approach him and whisper in his ear, and you see Clayman sigh and whisper to his servants, who then disperse. Alrighty, so let me get these two in here, and then I'm missing one other person. Not her. There he is. Zorik. All right. So as everybody sits, they start bringing in they start bringing in snacks and drinks. There's cheeses and breads, fruits, wines, water, and for those who want it, ale. And those start getting passed around the table by the servants. And then Lord Valenstar looks around at everybody and he says, "Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. How as a tradition of the Valenstar family, I'm going to go around the table and have everybody introduce themselves. And once you introduce yourself, tell me what was the most interesting thing that happened to you today." And she said, and then he starts with, sorry, he starts with Lady Gaukla, and says, "Well, of course, you all know that I am Lady Gaukla. I am currently the head of House Gaukla after my husband passed away some years ago. And the most interesting thing that happened was, the most interesting thing that happened to me was there was a bright fish that swam through your water out there, and it reminded me of my old husband's fishing habits." And then Morcolt says, "Yes, I'm Lady Morcolt, and my most interesting thing is that House Ratau and House Fairmar haven't killed each other yet today." And then the next person says, "Yes, I am Lord Clayman, and the most interesting and annoying thing that happened to me today is that I can't have my servants here." And then Lord Valenstar sighs. It's like you can live a few minutes without them. All right, you there, pointing at you, Ire.
Ire. Most interesting thing that happened to me today, well, let's see. I was talking to my horse, and he said, "Do we have any apples left?" And I said, "No, we're out of apples." And that was it.
He smirks, and then you hear a couple of chuckles, and then you say, and then Lord Clayman kind of leans in. "Was that supposed to be a joke?"
No.
"Oh, it sounded like a really bad joke, but okay."
No,
And then Lord Clayman says, "All right then, you then, sir," addressing you, Pico.
Oh. Well, I'm Peak of the Keystone, and while I would say that the most interesting thing that happened to me today was the opportunity to finally visit this marvelous state, I have to admit that Ire's anecdote is probably the second most interesting thing that's happened to me today.
Oh, he holds up his glass. Well, good for you that he put it down. All right, our Sadaga friend. How about you? Sorry, no, I skipped someone, didn't I? And then
Ooh, us cats all look the same.
and then
Exactly say that.
and then he gestures at you, Oreo.
Yeah, so you can just all call me Oreo. And the most interesting thing, I guess, is just seeing the number of servants that roam around this place. Quite hefty.
Quite. And then finally, our Sudaga friend.
Hello. I am Devon. Most interesting thing that happened today? Some incredible dancing with the one and only Ire, the robot.
That's me.
Yeah.
So what do you call the dance?
Ire, take it away.
Uh, the robot.
Very interesting. Is that
Hmm.
what they call automata where you come from?
Yes.
Ah, I learned something today. That's excellent.
Hmm.
All right then. And then he gestures at you, Ragu.
Uh, I stand up formally. My name is Resiri Bluebird. I am a foreigner and part of the Lumev expedition, and one of the two tournament winners. And then I curtly sit back down.
All right.
Well, what's the most interesting thing that happened to you today?
I had a lovely dance with Lady Trensil.
Excellent. It's nice to see people mingling here. All right. And Paradin stands up, and then he bows and he says, "I am the new head priest, Paradin Grealish, and the most interesting thing that happened to me today would be a little chat I had with our fellows over there, Ire and his friends, I believe. And the second most interesting thing was finally getting this ceremony over with. Now I can go back to actually doing real work." Then he sits down. Well, very good. And then at this point in time, the topic continues to go around, and the rest of the ladies and lords introducing themselves and speaking of various interesting tidbits. Um, the most interesting tidbit is that apparently I duplicated Clayman. So we are actually somehow still missing somebody. Anyway, otherwise, there she is. Otherwise, there's a lot of talk. There's a lot of interest in seeing the Lumev expedition group firsthand. There's one person talked about how beautiful the Silver River um, piece was. Um, Someone else mentions that the most interesting thing will probably be the fireworks later. And then once everybody completes their discussion, Lord Valenstar holds up his glass and says, "Here, here, toast to everyone." And then everyone holds their glasses, and you hear clinking all around as everybody clinks their glasses together. And then he sits down. And so people start talking, and the food gets brought out, and you can see there's a variety of meats. There's chickens and various other birds. There's some wolf. There's some pig. Um, there's even some slices of bacon. And there's plenty of drinks and fruits and salads. And so everybody but Ire can get their fill. Um, during this, there's discussions throughout the table. So what are you guys going to be doing, if anything?
Um,
I want to listen in on the people around me, just see what they're talking about.
Same.
Okay.
um,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that. Oh, geez, where is it? Clayman. What is the person's first or last name? They go.
It's right there.
Oh,
Yeah, I remember I said they were duplicated, so this is the original.
okay. Okay, I was seeing the duplicate on the other side of the table.
Yeah, because this claimant's the one that talked to Ire, so he was the real one. Anyway, you can see his name there. Do you still need it?
No, I'm.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so Ire, you're listening in, and you can see or you can hear. There's a lot of grumbling between. Let me see where they are. sorry, Ratau. There's a lot of grumbling between, and they're stuck sitting together, and so you can hear angry whispers coming from this end of the table, between Zorik, Fairmar, and Shamon Ratau, and it's like it sounds very angry. It's hard to hear what they're actually saying though, but you don't have to try very hard at guessing what it is they're angry about. Beyond that, you hear that you hear Paradin. He's kind of sitting there praying, giving thanks to his position and everything. He seems to be abstaining for most of the conversation, and for some reason he doesn't seem to have a very big appetite. You can Grinstead seems to be talking with the people next to him about the Hausler guy being with the council and pro Lumev. He seems to be pushing because he seems to be counteracting rumors that Hausler guy has been working against the council. Um, then you hear Neil Witt, and he's talking to Hamilla actually about just how he's going to correct, his plan to correct the disgrace his house has been seeing. Um, and you hear something about the ineptitude, it being caused by the ineptitude of Emperor Vidalis I. And you get the impression that he misses the old Emperor Angheim II, who, as you remember, was assassinated shortly after the Sudaga War, supposedly because of all the unrest. Um, so yeah, you get these conversations kind of going around as everybody eats. Um, is anybody else doing anything?
I'm going to try where possible get a little bit of a look at Arbit or Clayman, and how's his demeanor, or does he seem to be in a bad mood today?
You're asking if Clayman's in a bad mood?
Yeah.
Um, Go ahead and make an insight check. So yeah, I mean Clayman seems to be trying to he's trying to hide it, you think, or at least he's trying to pretend like everything's fine. But yeah, he's definitely in a bad mood.
Okay. Yeah, and I guess as opposed to the other things where most of these people seem to have no problems sniping at each other over their various grievances, right?
Right.
Hmm.
You
All right.
also notice, since you're paying attention to kind of that end of the table, that Hamilla seems like she's stressed out.
All right.
I wonder
Lord
why.
Valenstar seems perfectly calm and fine, though. Go ahead, Reku.
Oh, I was just saying, I wonder why she's stressed out.
As if that's a big mystery. All right. Anybody else doing anything?
I honestly did not.
Say it again.
What's her first name? What's her first name again? Manila?
Hamilla, yeah. Let me
I
go ahead and
can't
move
see.
her up so you can see it. Do you see it?
Hamila. Okay. Sorry. It's like
Okay.
as we're eating, Ragu's like, Hamila, it's very good that you were able to attend. We were hoping you were not feeling too terribly ill.
She
I
looks
just
way
kind of
down at the
try and get
table
a.
at you, and she says,
Yeah, I'm trying to get a glance off her with that. Trying to read her emotions. Say it's something to make her react. So.
yeah, she just kind of looks at you, and you get the impression that if her eyes were magical, you'd be dead now. Go ahead, Orier.
Okay.
All I was gonna say is that Ori's probably not going. She's gonna fake eat and drink. She's not actually gonna try any of the food or drink or anything like that. She's
Okay.
a little bit paranoid that she doesn't trust this place. So
Okay,
she's
fair
not
enough.
gonna eat or drink.
All right, so you're going to pretend to eat and drink really slowly, but not actually consume anything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, while you're at it, go ahead and give me a deception check. And Devok, what are you doing, if anything?
I'll just.
Okay, you're just
Nothing
eating?
really. Yeah, I'm just eating.
All right. And Ire, as you're sitting there, Clayman, out of nowhere, kind of leans over and he says, "Are these things as boring to you as they are to me?"
Sorry, what?
Clayman kind of leans over to you and out of nowhere, and he says, he whispers to you, "Are these things as boring to you as they are to me?"
Yeah, well, especially when you can't enjoy the
Oh yeah,
food and
you have
drink.
a real tough time. How do you live with
Yeah.
yourself, not being able to drink wine and have good food? If it were me, there's no way I could survive.
Well, you know, it's,
Well, maybe
I
one
get
day
by.
we'll figure out ways that they can enjoy that.
You know, it wasn't so bad when I had some people in my head to talk to, but they kind of left, so I don't know.
Clayman looks at you curiously. It's like, oh, you have people in your head? Like what
Yeah, but
kind of
they
people?
left. Well, I don't know. They're like these weird ship dudes. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Oh, and would you say that these people are? They must be from Lumev then, right?
Hmm.
Oh, interesting. So you got people in
Like
your head from
AI.
Lumev. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if the people are AI or what, but you know.
All right. People from Lumev. Interesting. I didn't know they can
Hmm.
take over people's minds. All right.
Well, they didn't take over. I'm still me. They just take
Oh.
residence. You know, they share the space.
Well, you think you're still you, but do you ever wind up doing stuff and wonder where you are or why you just did what you did? I
Mm,
wonder.
mm, maybe once or twice. No, 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 no.
You can
Of
tell
course
he
not.
does not look convinced. And he has this kind of contemplative look on his face. All right, so the dinner concludes. Servants come and take the food away, and they bring in some dessert and basically cakes and pies of all sorts of flavors. Um, and they also bring everybody a sweet um, a sweet purplish drink. And Lord Valenstar says, "Oh, you'll like that. It is a new juice um, we got from an island in the middle of the divide, actually. Um, and it's a new product, but it's quite refreshing and quite sweet. No alcohol though. Does anybody try it?
I'll go ahead and take a sip, but I'm trying to figure out whether or not it tastes like something a little more foreign.
Okay. Sure. So yeah, you taste it. You're trying to figure that out. Go ahead and make a perception check. And when you do taste it, it is very sweet, and it is really very refreshing. Yeah, go ahead and oh, you're probably waiting for it.
Uh, no, I was trying to click over it.
Okay. No,
Why did it take so
perception,
long
not
just to give
performance.
me a 3? Oh, no wonder. Well, it's right, perception. Hold on. Yeah, my not
Um,
any better.
it tastes similar. I mean, I'm sorry, it tastes familiar, but you can't put your finger on where you've tasted this kind of thing before.
Okay, I was trying to see if it was a Lumev berry.
Yeah, no, I got it, but that's what you got. Okay, so yeah, the desserts are of course sweet and excellent. Oreo, I'm taking. You're still not partaking,
Yep.
And obviously, Ayer's not partaking. Pico, Devok, or Ragu obviously had the drink. Are you guys eating and drinking?
Sure.
Yeah, I'd be eating and drinking.
Okay. What about you, Pico?
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you have a lovely meal, and then eventually the table is cleared off. And Lord Valenstar says, "Well, thank you everyone for staying for this lovely dinner. So in about half an hour, we will have a fireworks display out in the flower yard, and throughout this time, there are a few of you that I will be meeting with, and some of you that will be after the display, and a servant will come and fetch you when that occurs. So unfortunately, until the end of the evening, I will be indisposed. Um, Hemela, however, she will be around. So if you wish to have a speak with her, but bear in mind that I'm given to understand that she has a headache. Is that correct, Hemela? She says, "Yeah, I'm not feeling good. I have a headache, but I'm here. If you want to talk to me, that's fine. I apologize in advance if I'm a little short with you." Very good, very good. Please enjoy yourselves. Your servants and retainers will be having their own dinner events here throughout the evening, but the rest of you can enjoy the festivities as you so desire. And then he stands up, and so does everybody else. So what do you guys do?
I'm gonna go ahead and summon a servant over.
Okay,
You're
one
not
comes.
you're not coming through.
I summon a servant over, and I just say, well, my companion would love to have enjoyed the feast, but unfortunately, she's not feeling particularly well at the moment. Is it possible to have this packaged up for later enjoyment?
Oh, of course. We can do that right away.
Alrighty, thank you very much.
No problem. And then you see the servant start taking Oreo's food away.
Hmm.
And meanwhile, the other lords and ladies start filing their way out. And then you guys can go where you want as well.
Didn't he say they were meeting here first without us? So I guess we got the cue that we need to leave.
Sorry, they basically told you other people would be coming throughout the evening to like servants and retainers, and he also said that he'll be meeting with people throughout the evening, and a servant will come and fetch you when that happens. When it's your turn, and otherwise, yeah, it's basically everybody leaves
Okay,
Yeah.
yes.
the dining area. He also said that there's going to be a fireworks display in the flower yard in half an hour.
Yeah. So we're staying for the fireworks, and then we're gonna have to do just a little more intrigue here.
Sorry, say that again.
I said we're waiting around for the fireworks to start, but we're gonna do a little more intrigue before that with the last set of meetings type thing.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you guys can obviously continue to do what you want.
So I'm going to wait for the servant to come back with the meal.
Yeah, the servant does.
All right. I graciously thank the servant for that, and then taking the meal, I'm going to go and just head over into one of the alcoves.
Okay, yeah, you can go ahead and move yourself to wherever you want to go.
All right. Oh wait, this is a different map, isn't it?
Oh, it's the same map. Remember, I moved you guys. Maybe you weren't paying attention, but you went through this round room.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know if it's just a special effect of the movement, but what happens is everything will go black and then it'll just reappear in a different room. So I don't know if that's just fast sliding.
Okay, well, I got thrown off too because when everything moved, it was originally kind of popped over to the right where I couldn't see anything anyway. So, but yeah, makes sense now. Okay, so I'm going to go in here and close the curtain. And once out of sight, I'm going to go ahead and cast. Actually, I'm going to ritual cast to save the slot. I'm going to cast Detect Poison and Disease on the meal.
Okay, you do so, and it comes out clean.
All right. So, all right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and look for Oreo. Ah, there she is. Pop up and uh, good news. This is still a good meal if you're interested in it later.
Oh, thank you very much. We'll definitely check that. Don't really trust really fancy places like these, so
I
thanks.
totally get it. I was kind of thinking the same thing and sort of second guessing myself. So actually appreciate that you made it that much easier to at least check after the fact.
Yeah, I figured that if everybody was gonna eat, at least one person should not eat in case something really bad happened. But that's all good, then I will chomp on that later.
All right.
All right. So as that's happening, um, Devok, as you wind up coming out of the round room, do you see on the map where you are?
Yes.
Okay. As you wind up coming out of the round room, Sirius walks up to you and he whispers in your ear, I have something to discuss with you if you will come with me to one of the private alcoves.
Okay.
All right, and then he starts leading the way. And Pico, you notice as they pass by you that you see a robed figure walking past you and Devok following.
All right.
All right. Anyway, as you enter the alcove, he closes the curtains and he says, "You may be aware of a certain Lord Clayman. I'm sure you've seen him around.
Sure.
Anyway, I wasn't at the dinner, but I'm guessing he was. My dinner is coming up in a little bit. Anyway, my understanding is that in a few minutes, before the fireworks occur, he is meeting with somebody for something, shall we say, under the table, um, out in the kitchen retreat. And you may or may not be aware of this, but the kitchen retreat is if you go to the kitchen and you go north out the door, there's a little spot where there's a path, and looks like there's a gate, but the gate's open. Anyway, sometimes people gather there to have discussions or what have you when they don't want to be obvious. They're having a discussion like we are right now. And despite our mutual understanding of the undead, I, however, do not want everyone to become dead. So I think it might be in our best interest to figure out what it is exactly Clayman is doing. What do you say? I can't hear you if you're talking.
I said fair.
All right.
Hello?
So I don't know how you will accomplish it. You're resourceful. You are a full member. So this you can consider this to be your first official task.
Okay.
All right then. Well, in that case, enjoy the party. I will head out, and I will trust that you know what you're doing.
All right.
And
Sounds good.
Sirius opens the curtain and walks out. So what do you do?
Can you remind me of the name of the guy? Not serious, the other guy.
Lord Clayman?
I'll write that down.
And actually, while I'm thinking about it, I should actually move him. Oh, there he is. Alrighty. Anyway, so what are you gonna do?
Um, hmm, I guess I tell Oreo to keep an eye on Clayman and see if she can help me figure out what he's up to quietly, discreetly.
Okie doke. Is there anything in particular you need me to report on? Like something suspicious about him?
Anything suspicious? I'm not so certain.
Okay. I will do that. I
Cool.
will start slowly. Now, did I see him pass by me when you moved him, or was it just you just like moving him because you had them somewhere else?
Actually, I'm not sure. What were you doing when you were standing there?
I'm pretty much observing the space, even though
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
not
then you would have seen him pass you by. He went into the kitchen.
just straight to this.
He went into the kitchen and then went out of sight.
So I'll go through here because I know there's windows in that direction. So, um,
Okay, you still see there's still dancers. The music's still going, although it's far fewer than there was before.
just peering through the windows to see if I catch anything.
Okay. And while you're doing that, and Devok, you're, I guess, waiting. Um,
Yeah.
Pico and Ire, I see you guys are sitting down together. What are you guys doing?
So, Ira, what did you think of the dinner?
Oh, it was delicious. Yeah.
You suspect, with your insight skill, that he's lying.
Yeah. What do you think?
Well, I thought it was quite the fascinating event. I've got to say that your perspective on an interesting day was quite fascinating. So I guess your horse has pretty common tastes if he's into apples.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah.
kind of apples, though?
You know, he doesn't really mind any kind of apple will do. I mean,
You
you
really
know,
should find out, though, because I mean,
you
there are
know.
Brayburns, Fijis, Golden
Yeah,
Delicious.
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Just don't give them Rome apples. Those things might as well be wax fruit.
I'll ask him next time I'm feeding him. We're chatting it up.
And as you guys are having that discussion, Oreo, you after searching around for a while, you see that Clayman seems to be having some sort of conversation with two other people, and he seems to be keeping his voice down, and he also seems to be kind of blocked by foliage. Um, as if he doesn't want to be seen, at least not by the average observer. But with your perception, you were able to spot him pretty quickly.
Who do I know who are the two people that he's talking to?
You have no idea.
I mean, do I know that they're guests in this party, or are they
Yeah,
just
they are. You've
completely?
seen them. You've seen them around. They're probably merchants, or perhaps statesmen, something of that kind. They're not nobles, but they're still influential or important in some way.
Is this door open?
Not at the moment, but people come and go, so people can open and close it. But currently, it's closed.
And I'll do one quick check, although I'm not gonna stay here too long. Can I tell that the voices are so low that I can't even hear from, like, even as people come in and out?
Yeah, so they're definitely keeping their voices down, and um, in fact, they seem to be well aware um, that they seem to be trying to avoid anybody in the kitchen being able to hear them.
Okay, so I'm just gonna start, pass by again, just try not interrupt anything of these guys. Go see the Devok again and let them know that Yep, it looks like he's definitely up to something. He's talking to like two merchant guys or something outside. Very low key, trying to stay quiet for some reason, but not sure why he's using that instead of like, let's say, the alcoves or something.
Hmm. Because it's less obvious.
I guess, but I mean, if I could still spot them, not exactly the greatest place, but yeah, he looks like he's up to no good though. Do you need
Yeah.
him? Do you need to do something to that, or is it you just need to report on it?
I think we have to do something about it.
Okie should we talk to the others then?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Okie doke.
In the meantime, Ragu, I see you're out. Himila is out there, kind of looking at the stream and the flowers going by, waiting for the fireworks. So, what are you doing out there, if anything?
I go ahead and approach.
Okay. You approach, and she looks over and she sees you, and she kind of nods at you. Can I help you with something?
I I nod back and I introduce myself again. I'm Rasili. I was just wondering what such a lovely thing was doing out here by yourself, not partaking in the festivities.
Oh, there's these. They have these things all the time. You probably don't know this, but as nobles, we have to. We spend, especially this house, as big and influential as it is. We spend so much time entertaining and everything. And my grandfather is so good at it. But I'm sometimes I just need to be alone.
Ah, I understand. Well, I was going to be making the small talk with you, but I can see you wish to be alone. I
Sorry,
will
could you
take my
talk louder?
leave. I said, well, I was going to be engaging in the small talk with you, but I can see you're wanting to be alone. I shall be taking my leave. With a curt bow,
She
I
nods
will
and
back
says,
off.
"Well, thank you for understanding at least." All right.
Are you sure there is nothing else troubling you? Perhaps I could be helping. I am a very helpful sort of a person.
She looks back in your direction. It's like, well, maybe I could always use to hire some good help, but we'll talk about that later. I don't want to deal with it right now.
Of course. And I leave.
Okay. So Oreo, you've found Pico and Ire. So what are you doing?
Uh, uh just Pico can read lips, right?
Yes.
I just poke you on the shoulder and then I start silent talking, even though I'm not saying anything, but you're just reading what I'm saying. I think we need to talk as a group with the Vox. Something's up and it seems sketchy. So, um, where's Ragu?
I think I see him outside talking to Hamila.
I think the Vox back in the other room. Maybe you guys want to meet up with him and find a spot while I go get Ragu.
Alrighty, sure.
Okie doke. So I will start making my way around, find Ragu.
All right.
I'm supposed to be backing off right now, but for some reason, Roll20 is buffering, so I'm sure I'll move in a minute. Sorry.
All right, Ire, let's go.
Okay.
I assume the Ragu's already pulled away from his chat, right?
Well, she's
Yeah, I left.
she's looking at the water. She's not even looking at Ragu at the moment.
No,
All right.
Ragu was making his way away. He was backing off of the conversation.
Yeah. Okay.
But
I
Roll20 is stuck for me, so I can't move my token.
That's fine.
Jeremy, something out of character real quick. I keep having this weird, I don't know if this is on my end or your end, but my browser like refreshes for a second and then when it comes back my vision is the whole map. So I just have complete
Ooh.
map vision. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, that's weird. What does it look like now?
Yeah, I still see the whole map.
Okay. I guess try refreshing.
Yeah, that works. It happens again every so often.
Yeah, I guess you just have to
Yeah.
refresh. Yeah, unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about it from my end. My guess is that this is a really large map, and so maybe it's just your browser's having trouble with how many shadow lines there are.
Yeah, possibly. Okay.
Is anybody
I
else
will.
having that same issue, or is it just Ire?
I'm not. At least for now, I'm not.
No, I'm good.
Okay. But yeah, as you can tell, this manor is giant in terms of maps go. So,
Hmm.
In a manner of speaking, anyway.
alrighty. Anyway, Ire, Pico, and Havak, you've gotten together. So, what are you three doing?
Well, we need to have a private conversation.
All
Okay,
right.
there you are. Okay, I'm just gonna follow you, Regu. So yeah, you're good.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Once
Yeah,
the
it
other
took a
two
bit
are here.
before I could move my token. See, what way are we going? Oh, this way.
No, just follow me. You're good.
Okay.
All right. Guess we shall make our way to the one of the little alky coves.
As you guys do that, I'm gonna take another quick peek at the area. Just wanna spot if I see them still from that area. I can still see them, but are they still there, Jeremy?
Yeah.
Okay. You go back and follow these guys.
Okay.
I am having major issues in mine. I can't see in the attic. I can't move my character right now. I'm gonna have to have a.
Okay.
Need a
I
second.
just moved it. So,
All right, cool.
all right. Go ahead.
We don't see Ire in the bunch bed.
He's there. He's under Regu.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
There we go.
So, hold on, what's his name? 1 second. It appears that Lord Clayman, the man I told Oreo to watch, is up to something sketchy. I've been told that I have to deal with it.
What kind of sketchy are we talking?
I am not certain, but
He's
it
talking
seemed to
to.
involve death. So,
Oh.
He's gonna kill
Kill
somebody?
lots of
Might
people,
have.
I imagine, from context clues.
Oreo, I noticed that individual got a message from a server earlier, and given some of the events from earlier tonight, perhaps that's, you know, he may have had a hand in that. And maybe as a backup plan.
Yeah. I'm not sure how to approach this.
Head on.
Yeah.
Well, specifically, you were told that he was having a meeting, and you or two other individuals in the kitchen retreat, and that you basically needed to find out what he's up to.
Yeah. We need to figure out what's going on with him.
They're talking really low, so I don't think there's any way of necessarily listening in really well. Unless, I mean, actually, Pico, since you can read lips, maybe you can. They're literally just outside of the kitchen area. You can spot them just as you go in. So maybe if you want to try doing that and see what you can get without necessarily intervening. Otherwise, it's kind of hard to hear anything unless you're literally next to them.
I have a proposal.
What's that?
Go for it.
Check the chat, because I have access to an interesting spell.
That could work.
Yup.
Mm-hmm. So who is spying?
Well, I am pretty lightweight and dexterous, so I can do it.
Next.
What do you mean next?
Next
Not
up.
seeing the chat here.
I mean, I'm completely down
I'm
for it,
athletic, I'm strong, I'm...
Okay. Oreo, I choose you. Or Pico, one of the two. Anyone but I, please.
I think I second Oreo because I can do the next best thing as far as
trying to be concealed, and I think if we have more than one person on this, that's probably better.
Okay, then Oreo, you're invisible. Go off.
How long does that last for, though?
I was just looking for that. An hour? Does it say that?
Oh, thank God.
Okay, it does.
Just for the, I don't know if this is gonna work or not. I'm gonna go on this side and just shoot, what would say boo inside Ire's ear? Does Ire have any reaction?
Make a stealth check. Ire, what's your passive perception?
Not that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, yours is 10, Ire. So, anyway, out of nowhere, you suddenly you hear a boo behind you, and you know that Oreo went invisible, but there's no way she could have got behind you without you noticing or feeling her or something. But yet there's something behind you making noise. What are you gonna do?
Scream and run away.
Okay.
I'm out of here. There's ghosts in this place. There's ghosts. There's ghosts, everybody.
Do me a favor.
And then suddenly, Lord Ikla comes up. What? Are you are an automata? How are you drunk?
What? I'm not drunk.
Do you need assistance?
No. I'm fine. Just. I need to go. I need to go collect my thoughts.
And
Wow.
as you go by, you saw like Lady Trencho walk over. I think the automaton's in distress. What do we do?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
And suddenly you notice Elru's next to you, and she's like whispers in your ear, or where you hear from. I was like, are you okay?
I'm
You
fine.
might
I said
not
I'm
want to
fine.
cause a scene.
I'm okay. I'm alright. I'm just gonna go.
Why don't you go to a couch and sit
I'm going
for a while?
I'm gonna watch
Rex,
this
can you come
fountain.
back for a moment? All
I
right.
swear I thought that was gonna go a lot smoother than it seemed. Had I known he was gonna have that reaction, I would not have pulled that. All right, fair. Lesson learned.
All right. Oreo, if you're still in here, then well, I guess you would be. We're hearing the voice. Where were you planning to set up for the observation?
It seems like the kitchen area, considering how many people come in and out and how they're not really paying attention to necessarily the people that are passing in and out of the kitchen, thankfully. I think I might go through that way and just take advantage of as soon as somebody comes through to go through. And then just lurch
can-
by one of the bushes area.
I can
Well-
do that. I shall open the door and you can sneak right past, and I'll just keep walking past them. That
Well,
way
I don't
open
want.
for you.
Well, I was gonna say I don't want necessarily because I think they're. I don't know if okay, Jeremy, you tell me because again, you said that you don't have any like obviously you're not gonna have icons for every single person, but are there people even passing by them as he's having the conversation with two people?
They are, and
Okay.
which leads you to wonder. It's like, well, how are those people not hearing him? So it may be quieter than quiet, if you know what I mean.
Got it. Okay, that's fair. Then yeah, that's fine, Regu. I just didn't want him to like get the impression that suddenly somebody random was passing by or something. But if there's people already coming back and forth, then that would be very welcomed.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be my attack plan is to just essentially sit by the wall right behind them to hear what the hell's going on.
And Pico, what are your plans? Can
I
become
was
your friend
wondering-
as well?
I wonder if you could give me a ride out to the other end of the garden, and I'll loop around up on the wall.
Of course.
Oh, you still there?
I'm still here. I said, of course. Hello?
Okay. In that case, I am going to turn into a spider.
All right, you do so.
All right, and so I'll have you take me out this way.
Okay, so yeah, since you're a spider, no one can see you, so yeah, you can move freely.
Yeah, well, I'm having Ragu carry me out so nobody can step on me. I'm just
Oh,
leading the
okay.
way.
All right.
So I'll
So yeah, as you're passing by, yeah, they just see you going outside, so no one's stopping you or anything, Ragu. What are you
Yeah.
doing, Oreo?
Waiting on Ragu.
go catch up.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna stand by this spot waiting for Ragu to come by. Oh, I guess we didn't really decide before we left as a team that what to do if we hear something particularly off-putting. Devok, did you have any particular instruction of how we need to take care of anything if something were to really be out of hand?
Define really out of hand.
I mean, I don't know necessarily if like your instruction is whatever is coming that's not good, we need to stop it no matter what, or if it's just listen to what's going on and then report on that. Like, I don't know exactly what your
Well,
instruction.
I was told to deal with it.
Okay.
No. Well, specifically, you were told to find out what's going on.
Oh, wait, I misheard him then.
It's fine. I mean, if you heard that right and as a character you would have shared that properly, then I would have still taken it as just listening what's going on.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
get the impression that there's still a party going on and scenes are probably not good.
Okay, doke. So then, maybe you want to be by the kitchen area since there's a pretty nice spot to see them from here, and you won't necessarily look too out of place.
True.
And actually, Ragu, since you won't be able to see me, I'll just as soon as I see you, I'll grab onto your arm or something so you know that it's me.
Okay.
All right, you see that they're still having a discussion, although you get the sense that it's probably winding down.
Now I'm going to start from as high up as possible and work my way down until I can get a good view of all of them, of their mouths.
Okay, you do
And
so.
I guess I need to be doing a stealth check at this point if I'm just
Yeah.
trying to be okay.
You are invisible, so you have advantage, but yeah, you might step on a twig or what have you.
Yeah. Ooh, I'm gonna use a fate point on that.
Okay. Okay. You almost stepped on a twig, but then you noticed it at the last second. All right. So yeah, you sneak away. You sneak around, and Pico, you're trying to get into a good spot to read their lips. So Pico, I'm gonna go ahead and have you make a perception check.
All right, give me a moment. Just have to help Sasha up the stairs. All right, almost ready. Okay, perception.
Okay. So yeah, you're trying to get in a good spot, but with the foliage in the way and everything, you only catch part of what they're saying. In the meantime, Oreo, what are you doing?
Sending everything I can.
Okay. How close do you get?
As close enough that I can actually hear the conversation. The intention is to be as close as possible without actually getting caught. So
Okay. So yeah, you're probably
what?
right about there then. All right. So what you it seems like the conversation is winding down, but you do catch part of it, and you catch something about using a cult for his own ends, and somebody else kind of chuckles a little, and then he says something about a den. In the abandoned underground tunnels in the middle of the Sudaga ward.
Okay.
So using the cult den.
Yep, I was writing it all down too.
Abandoned underground tunnels beneath the Sudaga ward.
There's no name of the cult in question. They just talk about a cult.
Apparently, you apparently missed the context because the conversation basically just about ended.
Okay. And a closer view of these individuals, anything on their person that I don't know, emblems, sigils, anything that would mark them very distinctly versus like because you said they were like merchants, so I don't know
Yeah,
if there's anything.
that's the impression you get. They seem to be well-to-do merchants. Nothing particular stands out about them. Um, although obviously they are aware of some cult, and the biggest thing is that they seem to be working with Clayman on something. But obviously beyond that, nothing is apparent.
Okay, I would like to try and memorize as much as possible these people's faces just for future reference.
Okay, go ahead and make a history check.
Could make she make an argument that it should be using insight because it'd be kind of instinctive to kind of see these faces, like, and
Yeah,
when
I mean
she's,
you're a rogue, and yeah, that's fine. You can use insight.
thank you.
Okay, you have a rough idea of what they look like.
Okay. I'm not gonna move. I'm just gonna see where they go from here.
Okay, so at this point in time, the merchants kind of just go off in different directions, and then Clayman also goes into the kitchen.
I do want to follow his whereabouts just a little bit. So how far? Okay, he's there. I'll
Yeah,
stay like,
so he's basically going to go to the parlor room. You see him go to the parlor room and sit down.
mm, okay. And he seems like he's by himself. I'm sorry, I need to like, since it's big map, I need to see the.
Yeah, you can definitely go over there. But yeah,
Okay.
he's definitely by himself. And Ragu, one of the merchants, passed you on the path, but they didn't pay much attention to you. They just walked past you.
Okay, can I get a good look at him? Try and remember his face.
Yep, you can also make a history check or insight.
Okay.
Okay, you got a pretty good look. Let me write that down.
Okay.
Ragu merchant face. All right.
I will very calmly, not to surprise Tavak, just whisper, say, "It's me." Um, maybe we chat in the same space we were in,
Sure.
and I'll just start moving. Yep.
All right.
Okay. Definitely, I don't know how much of this will be relevant to you or how much you already know, but apparently there's some interest in a cult for some sort of personal uh, interest that he's got. And there's a den in an abandoned underground beneath the Sudaga ward that
Hmm.
is caught their attention or that they are going to deal with or do something with. I try to remember the guys' faces as much as possible, but they don't really stand out in terms of people we would know.
Okay.
However, I don't know if that makes any sense to you.
Yeah, I will relay this information and then I'll see what we should do after doing so. I
Okie
say
doke.
that and then huh?
No, I said it's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll go relay this and then I'll tell you what the plan is afterwards. I go and find Sirius and I ask him to. How do I get out there?
Oh, sorry.
The
Where are
other
you?
way. Sorry, I'm just trying to find my way to where he is.
Um,
I found him. Don't worry.
yeah. All right. So yeah, if you
Uh,
have the conversation with him, he's basically, he says, is it critical? Is it something that's going to or something critical right now?
I tell him it's just information that he probably wants.
Okay. And then he says, I suspect it might be related to things you're already looking into. In
Correct.
which case, when you have a chance, I would suggest that you follow up. And next time you have a chance, Not tonight, but maybe tomorrow we can meet up at the usual place, um, and you can go into more details.
Perfect. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
I'm
So
looking yeah.
as you guys are moving around, you suddenly notice that there is there it is. That you suddenly notice that um, um, Lord Fairmar and Lord Ratau. They seem to have gotten together um, in the near the lunar ballroom, and they've started to shout at each other. Um, you hear you hear one of them said, "No, I did nothing. You caused the issue." And then the other one starts yelling. It's like, one of my people are missing. I've told you, it was a fake. You're the one who did it. And then this goes on back and forth, and it becomes more and more heated. And you get the impression that Lord Fairmar is livid over the uh, over the assassination attempt on one of his people, and Lord Ratau he seems to be yelling that one of his team members hasn't been seen since the event, and the person that was arrested, he doesn't know who he is, and clearly Lord Fairmar set all this up. So what do you guys do?
I'm thinking as long as they don't come to blows, I'm gonna hang back here. But if they start fighting, I'll physically break up the fight.
All right.
Likewise, I'm just gonna stay in stealth around them. Not make, I mean, 'cause technically, I think I'm still invisible for the
Yes.
next hour, so I am just trying to stay out of anyone's way right now, seeing what
Um,
things go.
as far I believe that Dava can end that early if he so chooses, but he hasn't
That's
ended it yet.
true. Yeah, so Devok, up to you. Did you turn off invisibility on me?
Do you want me to?
I would have said I wouldn't have wanted to, but I don't think I would or you would have said anything.
Yes, I do.
Okay. So
Okay.
I would not be there. I'll probably be over here.
Okay. Fair enough. And then, okay, so the fight continues to escalate, and then you see that Lord Ratau he pulls off one of his gloves, he smacks Lord Fairmar across the face, and throws it at the ground, and then Lord Fairmar lifts his fists and punches Lord Ratau in the face, and then suddenly you start hearing running, and it's like, what's going on? And you see people approaching. Do you guys do anything?
I step up. I'm assuming I'm a head and shoulders bigger than both of these men.
You are.
Each by the back of the neck, the scruff of the neck or the collar. Hold them apart. Settle down. This
You
is a
pull them apart,
sophisticated evening.
and as you do so, Elru pushes past Oreo, um, and um, and she looks at both of them. You will calm down immediately. And you've seen her bounce around on her feet and be all happy usually, but you can see that she's got
But
this deadly look in her eyes. And they both look at her,
yeah,
and then they both just be quiet. They just stop talking. And
I
go ahead.
I let them go, but my gaze is strictly on Elru, like almost slack jawed. I almost want to ask, but my my mouth doesn't quite work as I let them go and take a step back.
All right. And as they step back, you can see that both Lord Ratau and Lord Fairmar glance at each other with daggers in their eyes, and then eventually head off in different directions.
Is Elru still there?
Yeah,
After
she's still
the
there
two
watching
lords
them
disappeared?
go, and you see her sigh, and you get the impression this isn't the first time she's had to do that.
I very quietly lean over to Elru and whisper, "Are you sure you are not the one being in charge?"
She laughs. It's like, I'm just doing my job, man. I'm security.
Ah, well, glad I could help. Didn't seem that you needed it though.
Well, don't worry. I have no reason to harm any of you guys. You guys are nice. And then she starts walking
Oh
off.
no, no. No, what I meant was, help her stop the fight, which obviously I didn't need
Oh
to do.
yeah,
But
she gives you
it
a
was
thumbs up.
impressively scary from a tiny little woman.
How did Lord Clayman react to all that? Because I was still watching him while all that was going on.
He was looking over at them, and um, he seemed. Actually, go ahead and make an insight check while you're at it. Who was it? Yeah, so he was looking at them, and he seemed to be interested for a moment, and then he kind of shrugged, and then kind of turned around and looked back at the fireplace. All right, and then you notice that during the yelling, that Lady Morcolt started approaching. Although I don't know where she is, but anyway, she started approaching, and then you also noticed that that one of the other nobles does the same. Yeah, so Lady Mordell also starts approaching, and they both look like they were going to interact in some way with the fight, but it was over between Ragu and Elru was over quick enough that they didn't get a chance to do whatever it is they were going to do, and then they dispersed afterward.
Whatever they were gonna do, what were the looks on their faces? Did they seem like they wanted to stop the fight over concern or egg it on?
You get the feeling that you're almost certain that Lady Morcolt had a concerned look on her face. Um, as far as Lady Moradel, I'll have to have you make an insight check because her face was fairly blank.
Okay. Coming up.
Yeah, her face is blank. You can't tell what her thoughts are opaque.
Okay.
And then once that was broken up, you hear an announcement. The fireworks are about to begin out in the flower yard. So what do you do?
Shall we start heading out to the flower yard?
Is that where we're supposed to be, or are we supposed to see the show through the big ballroom thing? I don't know what makes sense. I'll just follow one of you guys.
Do we see
Well, I
people
thought we were
heading out
gonna
the
get.
store?
Yeah, they're heading out toward the store.
Ah, okay. Then I'll head out.
Okay. So yeah, as you go out, you can see that Lady Himela is still out there, although by now she would have moved. She's way out where the plants are next to the river up to the north. Um, and a lot of the other nobles have been making their way out there as well. Um, you notice, some people are missing, but some of that is probably the private conversations. And you also notice that Paradin is standing out waiting as well. And then at that point, there seems to, from nowhere that you can see these fireworks blossom in the sky. In the distance, in the trees, you can see a couple of robed figures moving their hands around. And then you get these large, massive explosions, lots of sounds and light. Uh, and You can see that some of the fireworks also create illusions, like scenes. One of the scenes is a silver river, a blood red river that with bodies everywhere around them, orcs. And then you can see the bodies being cleaned up and the disappearing, and the river turning silver. And you can also see one of them. You see, Paradin kneeling in front of the altar, presumably from the temple ceremony, and various other images as well. And then, as the fireworks come to a close, Oreo, Ragu, Devok, since you're the biggest group, a servant suddenly shows up and says, "Lord Valenstar will see you now. Please follow me." And that is where we'll end the session.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right, let me.
I was gonna ask Ragu and Devag where the hell Ire went. He couldn't possibly be scared that long.
I don't know where he went actually. He might have left.
He just went home. He literally left the map and just went back home. Like,
Just
screw this,
noped
man.
right out of the
Confusing
game.
people and ghosts and food that I can't eat. Screw it all.
All right. Let's see, 240 plus. So we'll do 520, and then we'll do. What is that? 660 here. And then nothing there. And so I know Oreo got all her failures. Let's see, that'll be 1180. Okay, so Oreo got all her failures. Pico, did you fail?
Yeah,
I feel
I
like
failed the persuasion check 4 times
Okay.
regarding the drunk assassin, and then the failed perception check trying to spy on Lord Clayman. Was that his name?
Okay, how about you, Ragu?
Yeah, I did get 2 failures in there.
All right, Devok, did you actually roll for anything?
Nope.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Interesting. All right, so here's your experience points. So session 36, 520 for encounters, 660 from exploration and clues, interacting with NPCs, for a total of 1,180. Oreo, Pico, and Ragu got all the learning by failures, whereas Devok, Galen, and Ire got none.